Broadcasting from their world headquarters in Texas, it's the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show. The show that discusses arcade repair, restoration, news, and more. Now, here are your hosts, Tim and Jonathan.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 108 of the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show for February 2026. My name is Jonathan Leung. I'm the producer, director, and editor here at the Arcade Repair Tips video series. And joining me today as always, fresh from his trip, literally coming into town just for this,
right,
is Mr. Arcade Repair Tips himself, Tim Pearson. Tim, how you doing?
I'm finally thawed out after last week. You know, we had quite the snow that we don't, or the ice and cold weather that we're not used to here in Texas. I'm sure in a lot of parts of the United States where people aren't normally used to it, and so I'm kind of feel like I'm finally kind of thawed out. It's been an interesting last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we got down what as cold as like 19, 18, 17.
Yeah.
Which here in Texas, that's pretty cold.
Right.
If it gets anywhere below freezing, I feel like, Tim, that the whole place just shuts down. It doesn't take much. So, but we had about a week there where schools were, or half a week, I guess I should say, where schools were shut down, and just basically stayed inside and watched the snow melt. Right. It was basically the whole thing. So. But hopefully wherever you are, it's nice weather there and that you're having a wonderful day as well. And we hope that you had a wonderful month of January, and we're glad to be covering some questions on this February episode. Before we begin, though, we do want to remind you that if you'd like to interact with us during the show, you can leave your comments and questions in the live chat. And Tim, the live chat is already very lively tonight. We've got Jumpin' Generals here, Tim. Real Hammer Billy Lee is here. We got Arcade Survival 8469. He says, what's up from the Hoosier State, Tim?
Okay.
And then we've got, let's see, Rory Kirkpatrick is here, Tim. Fat Belly is here. Joe Holt's here. Let's see, Nate Berg is here. Just a whole bunch of guys. We're so glad you guys are joining us tonight. It's always great when we have a lot of people in the live chat. It makes for a really great episode, I feel like. So hopefully tonight's show will be really great. So anyway, Tim, I do want to go ahead and go over to the live chat if it's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a question here from Jumpin' General. He says, what are your thoughts on replacing a JAMA edge connector? Install all new pins in a replacement edge connector versus the edge connector that already has the pins installed, just solder to the top. So what do you think, Tim, as far as replacing a JAMA edge connector? Like, what is your preference?
Well, we've done both. We've and it's just, if you got the time, it's the way to go. It's the right way. It just kind of time consuming.
So, I mean, I think his question is, would you just repin the connector? Would you replace the connector? Like, what is your preference?
Is he talking about on the wiring side?
He's talking about the edge connector.
Yeah, the edge on the board.
So he's saying install all new pins in a replacement edge connector versus an edge connector that already has the pins installed, just start to the top. So you know how you get the ones, you know what I'm saying? You get the ones that you attach the wires to?
I prefer that. If it's, especially if it's already set up and I'm just moving from one to another, that's probably be my preference. But we've done it both ways.
Yeah, and you can replace the pins. I mean, you may just have some pins that are worn out. If there's only a couple there, maybe it'd be better just to replace the pins that are worn out and then be done with it, right?
Now, I have just popped all the pins out and literally just kind of cleaned them up and got a little sandpaper or something, got some of the oxidation and things off of them, denatured alcohol and cleaned them. And they were just fine. But once they're, it kind of depends. I've seen some that where the wires were just frayed or broken or it wasn't a very good job to begin with. Then I just redo them. It kind of is a time deal. If you got the time, the best way, or if you're looking for longevity, of course, is to, and it depends. If it was from the manufacturer, they're probably pretty good. You could probably reuse them. But if it's some shoddy tech job or something, I have just said, forget it. I'll just replace them all. And just because I knew mine would be crimped on there right, we'd add a little bit of solder, maybe even some heat shrink on it and kind of bulletproof it for the future. And that also would depend on if it was my game, I was probably going to keep, but it's a little more time consuming.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of your preference, though. Whatever you decide, Jumpin' General, let us know. We'd love to hear
what you think. If it was just for the arcade, I would probably go with the fastest route. Try to get the game up and going.
Yeah, when you're an operator, it's all about getting it going. Now, with that said, I mean, it may be working now, but maybe there's a little bit of give in it or something like that. And so maybe you want to pop some new pins in there, just kind of to eliminate that give a little bit.
I wouldn't do it just for fun.
No, exactly.
I mean, I would do it. There'd have to be some purpose behind it.
Nate has an update on the static electricity with the basketballs, Tim, from last month. So last last month Nate wrote in and said he was having some problems with static electricity buildup on basketballs. Right. And you told him to wipe it with a bounce sheet.
Yes.
Which I thought was a great idea. He says, great news. Let's see what he's... Nate, he didn't... He doesn't have the update. Oh, he said the dryer sheets did the trick.
Okay.
So you're right, Tim. So bounce sheets, if you have problems with static buildup on some of those redemption games, especially like basketball goals, take some just dryer sheets. You kind of you're just saying rub the balls basically and stuff,
rub them
and with the dryer sheets, and it takes the static away.
Kind of what it used to remind me of is you see those pro bowlers, and they would have that like thing they would rub the ball. It's kind of what I would do with the basketball. I would hold it up and just kind of rub it around in there and act like, I was being really serious or something. But it just took a second, and then that usually helped a lot. We also used to use this, I can't remember, this purple cleaner, and it controlled a lot of static too. And just by kind of spraying and using it, it was in a concentrated, we had to put it in a spray bottle with a lot of water. That stuff worked. If I think of the name of that, or I can remember. But hey, if the dryer sheets work, that's a cheap fix, and I'm glad that helped you.
There you go. And it's always good to get an update on the questions, Tim. So we're glad that the dryer sheets work for sure. And thank you for the update there, Nate. And then let's see what else we got here. Fat Buddy says, I have a question. I tripped on my power extension lead, and my Joker Poker machine went off. All the fuses check out, but the machine is dead. So, Tim, what do you think is going on? So he tripped. It sounds like he tripped over his power cord. Okay. And then the machine went off. Maybe had like a little bit of a what do you call it? Like a power surge of some sort. And now he says all the fuses are good, but now he's not getting any power. What do you think's going on?
Well, you could have damaged the cord actually itself. Yeah. I would check for continuity from one end of the cord to the other. Make sure your cord is good. It's not that uncommon. It's also not uncommon when you trip or do something like, I can remember when I was young and Mom would make me vacuum, and she would get so mad at me because I would pull it from about 30 feet, and try to pull it out of the wall because it would damage the cord a lot. Yes. And so by tripping, watch that end, you could even do damage sometimes to the plug. So make sure that your plug is okay, your cord's okay. After that, we're just going to start through the motion of going through, following our power and stuff. Sometimes there's a hidden fuse in the very back where your cord goes in. Sometimes you can't see it, almost like a little trap door. You got to pull that fuse out. Make sure it doesn't take us a picture if you're not sure what I'm talking about. It kind of depends on the game, but a lot of the newer versions, especially if it has a power on and off button. I have one. Keep talking. Jonathan has one, but if it has a power on and off button, a lot of those have a built-in fuse, kind of, and you don't see it. So here, we'll do it live. Yeah. So if you've got this kind, okay, so you don't really see the fuse. Like I said, well, this one actually has a nice picture of it.
It does.
You can't see it right below there. So you would pop that little trap door out, and there's a fuse up inside of here. So I would make sure that you don't have a fuse right there. We know about the fuses up inside the game. But if you have this kind, especially with a power switch or something, there's probably a little fuse up under there. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And
like you said, this one's nice because it actually shows that there is a fuse there. There are a lot that just have a little window there.
Yeah, or just a little blank piece, and you wouldn't even know it was there if you didn't know.
Agreed. So check those areas, and then make sure, take your multimeter and check the continuity from the plug all the way into the game. So make sure you're getting continuity on your AC, neutral AC line, and then also your ground as well. So let's
hopefully it's probably nothing serious. Even if you sent some power surge or something, there's probably a lot of protection. I really would venture to say it's probably in the power cords, because especially those ends, sometimes they break or come loose and you don't even really notice it.
Yeah, and I've seen it, Tim. I think I've seen some power, like the actual plug ends have surge or have fuses in them as well sometimes.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, if you've got the little screw-on kind, sometimes there'll be a fuse actually in the plug itself, and so you need to check that as well. So I mean, if you're not getting power, if you're doing your continuity test or your voltage test inside the cabinet, and you're not getting power in the cabinet, then it's got to be something in the cord, right? Whether that's
make sure you didn't trip the breaker to the wall.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you can always check your wall outlet, of course, with your multimeter as well. Just set that thing on 120 volts AC or whatever it is, 200 volt AC if you have a non-auto ranging one. Right. So, but otherwise, just AC voltage, you can check it real quick. So. Let's see, we have Jumpin' General says that JAMA connector he was talking about was the one in his Contra. It's been picked and pried on so much.
Yeah.
And the ground pins are all loose, he says. And the voltage pins as well. Voltage pins and ground pins are all loose.
That's kind of the way I am. When I'm just looking at a mess, sometimes it's easier just to cut them and start over, you know, or one wire at a time or something, you know. I hate dealing with a shoddy tech's their jobs. You know, I like to do it nice and neat and professional as I can. I wasn't always that nice, neat, and professional though myself. And there's times where we're in a hurry or we're on a location. We don't have all the tools with us. So I'm not faulting everybody. I'm just like, if I have the time, then sometimes it's worth it. And the way it sounds, that's probably what I would do. Just start over.
And it's not hard. You just desolder, like, especially if you get the kind that has the pins already inserted with the solder points. I mean, you just desolder one from the original JAMA harness, and then like usually I like to cut the heat shrink off if it has any. Put some new heat shrink on, put it back on the new JAMA harness, solder it in, and put that heat shrink back over it. I mean, it's really. I mean, it takes you probably 30 minutes, really, if you're pretty good.
I act like it's a big time consuming deal, but we're not talking about a long time. Yeah,
maybe an hour max.
Maybe an hour.
Yeah, I was about to say. So there you go. Let's see. Fat Belly has an update. Okay, thanks. I'll look at it tomorrow. It's nearly midnight here in the UK. Watching us all the way from the UK, Tim.
Wow.
Over the pond. So
right.
Well, hopefully you can take a look at it. Let us know. And send pictures if you're still having problems trying to find where the voltage is coming in or anything like that, or if there may be fuses in there. So let's see. Arcade Survival says Joker's as a System 11 probably pulled the cord off the line filter. That's very possible. Again, we always try to put like the little cord holders, and look at this, Tim. I don't know why I have everything around here today that I need, but like whenever I have a cord in a game, before the line filter, we'll put the cord through here and screw it down,
right?
So that way it'll hold the cord in place without pulling it out of the line filter.
That's exactly why we do
cord holder kind of thing. And so if you put that in there, it just keeps the cord from being pulled out very easily, especially if you do it at an angle. Yeah, that's usually what we'll do. We'll kind of turn it and then put this there, so that way even if you pull on it, you're not getting.
Well, that's a great point. That does happen.
Yeah, all the time for sure. Well, Tim, I think we caught up. Lots of action already.
Okay,
we just started. So, and we have a lot of questions this month. I say a lot of questions, Tim. There were 2 multi-part questions, and so what we did was we split those into 2 slides. Because, you know, if you guys write a lot, I can't always fit it on one slide. And a lot of times there's multiple questions. And so we have 2 of our emails that we got in that had 2 questions attached.
I see.
And so technically there's 4 emails, but like 6 questions, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So with that all said, let us go ahead and get started, Tim. And this first question we have is from Aaron. And Aaron writes, if I can bring it up here with my mouse. Here we go. There we go. I have a Centipede that works okay. The side art on one side is pretty bad, so I will probably replace both sides. The outline on the artwork is pink. I saw someone on YouTube replace the T-molding with green, which looked cool, but it's only consistent with the green outline side art. Now, Tim, you will see, I have the picture here. For those of you who may be just listening and not actually watching this, there's a pink outline that Aaron sent on just around the Centipede character on his side art.
Right.
As you may know, you can get a green outline as well. And so this is what he's talking about. He's like, the green T-molding only seems to be consistent with the green outlined Centipede side art. And so, should I try to find the green outlined version, or do you think it's cool/okay to use the green T-molding? I know it's technically fine, but it's not replacing things with exact replicas. What are your thoughts on that? Okay. So Tim, this is kind of in a way a personal preference, I guess you could say, but he's wanting to maybe keep things consistent. Is that a good way to say it? Like maybe arcade consistent with the original. And so with that said, I mean, what would you recommend for Aaron? Now he's going to have to go ahead and replace the side art. He says one side's pretty damaged. He wants the sides to match. So he's already got it in his mind that he's going to replace the side art. So I guess his question is, if he wants to go with that green T-molding, does he really need to go with the green outline side art, or is it okay to go with the pink? I mean, what do you feel like?
I feel like it's okay either way, because Centipede has a lot of colors and stuff. And after that, it really is just personal preference. You normally see the green T-molding. I've seen a lot of black original T-molding.
Yours had black.
Yeah, mine had black. And I know it was original. So it's tomato, really. It's almost hard to say until you see them on the machine. Now, you could put pink on there if you wanted to, but if he's choosing...
I think the pink T-molding would look nice.
Honestly, I think it would, but it would really make that stand out. But that's up to you. Also, who's playing the game? Who's the game for?
Yeah,
Is it for you personally? Are you trying to get it ready to sell? Or is it your wife's game? You might want to give some, or a significant other, you want to get their input. So anyway, I like these questions, but they're really, everybody has different tastes. What would I do? I would probably try the pink because I like that pink background. I think it looks cool, and I think it would really make it pop. But green would look just as fine. Yeah. I don't think, and I'm more of a player, and I'd just rather, as long as it plays good. Yeah. Right.
So I'm the kind of guy who had a Galaga with green T molding that I thought looked awesome.
Right.
We have a Mortal Kombat 2 over there with red T molding, which I think really makes the red and the Mortal Kombat logo pop. And so to me, this is more about your preference. Now, if you're the purist of the pure, and you want to keep it as original as possible,
right?
And you want to make it like it originally was in the arcade, then that's one thing. Factory fresh. You want to go factory fresh with it, just like it rolled off the line. That's fine. That's your preference. But I don't really think it matters that much in the long run.
No, I don't think so.
And that's what we're going to say. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the slide up here so we can discuss it a little bit further, Tim. While we are usually fans of keeping classic arcade cabinets as original as possible, we do tend to give a little more leeway on the cosmetic items, such as side art or T-molding or whatever. As long as the modified cosmetics capture the feel and style of the original cabinet and artwork design, we're probably going to applaud the effort. And Tim, I tell you, something that came to mind when I was thinking about this question was like the Midnight Pac-Man cabinets that are kind of inverse, where they're black with the yellow instead of yellow with like the black art. I love that. I think it's awesome. Same with the Miss Pac-Mans. You got kind of the black Miss Pac-Man side art where we basically replaced the blue with the black. I think that looks really cool too. So, but you're still, with that artwork, you're still kind of holding true to the tradition of the original artwork, if that makes sense. So the green outline side art with the green T-molding should give the cabinet a nice bright look. Even using the green T-molding with the pink outline side art would be okay and should pair well together, considering how the artwork for Centipede leans on the color green a lot.
Right.
But maybe even consider the pink T-molding to make that outline pop even more, like me and Tim said. I think that would look really cool. Or try it out and see, maybe not. But it seems like something that if you really want that pink to stand out, that you could. Now, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Centipede one of the cabinets that was actually designed by a woman, right?
That's correct.
So it's almost an homage to go with pink T-molding.
Yeah.
You could say.
But, like I said, it's kind of a personal preference. And without really having two side by side to compare, it's hard to say, well, I like this one over the other. As long as it plays great and you're happy with it, whatever your preference is.
Absolutely. So, if you, here's the thing, if you're going to go with the side art, we don't even know if that side art on there is the original artwork. You know what I'm saying? They may have come with green and then an operator replaced it with the pink later. We don't know. But we tend to keep things the way we found them. So for me, I would probably go with the pink and then probably either go pink or green with the T-molding.
Right. That would be my question. What color does it have on there currently? Or did it
had the pink.
Pink.
Yeah, it has the pink. So would you stick with the pink?
Probably.
Yeah, I just like to keep things the way they were. I think that's what it comes down to. So, but it's your preference, obviously. But as far as arcade original, like factory fresh styling, if that's really important to you, then go for it. Get the green side art with that. But typically we'll stick with whatever is on the game. So if it's got the pink outline, we're probably going pink. And then we may do a pink or a green T-molding, just depending on how it looked. Tim, anything else here before we move on to Aaron's second question?
No, I don't think so. Let's go to part 2.
Okay, here comes part 2, Tim, real quick. Okay. Let's go ahead and take it. There is a lot of burn-in on this Centipede monitor. It is okay, but eventually I will want to do a tube swap. I keep reading that 19-inch TVs often have a suitable donor. So he's got the website here for Tubular, which you can also find below in the show description. But to me, the aspect ratio doesn't look right. Is it an optical illusion? My brain playing tricks between the vertical tube exposed in all of its glory on an arcade and a horizontal monitor housed in a plastic TV body? Or am I missing something? So Tim, we have Aaron. He wants to do a tube swap eventually. He's got a lot of burn on his Centipede monitor now. And he's wondering, like, when he looks at a 19-inch television, it doesn't look like it's the same size to him as a vertically mounted arcade monitor. Yeah. So what would you say to Aaron in this case?
I think part of it is that optical illusion because of the casing.
Yes.
Because they came off, those tubes were, a lot of them, we've had people say, I've got an RCA monitor.
Yeah.
But you have an RCA tube. They were just coming off and they were just modifying them. So I would think that part of it may just be the way it looks, but there are certain brands and certain kinds that tend to work better in arcade games. Not every monitor, and there are some with a little bit of different ratio, so it kind of depends on the brand.
Absolutely, and I think that that's the case here too, Tim. I'll go ahead and put it up here though, so we can discuss it. And I have also put a picture of an arcade monitor and a TV. And you know, if you're looking at them, it does sometimes look like the tubes may be a different size.
Yeah.
Now, we should mention though that a TV does not have the frame around it. It is encased in plastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you take a TV out of its shell, you have to mount it in the frame for the old monitor tube, if that makes sense, for the arcade monitor tube.
Right.
That frame is not existing on a TV because it has the plastic housing to it.
Right.
And so that's part of, I think, the optical illusion is that frame makes the tube look like it extends out further than it actually does.
I think so too.
Makes sense? So the vast majority of CRT-based screens use 4:3 aspect ratio. While some others ratios exist, such as 5:4 or 16:9, they are not nearly as common. Now, it is possible that your donor TV could be one of those other aspect ratios, but we suspect the problem is an optical illusion created by the plastic TV casing and probably by the monitor frame housing as well. Of course, you can always measure the tube to see if it is actually the correct size and aspect ratio. Doing this would also give you a double check to make sure that the tube will fit in your cabinet. You can always measure it, right, Tim?
Right.
So there's no harm in that. Like I said, though, I think the frame does play a little bit into this, as well as the plastic casing for the TV. I think those two things will kind of play into this kind of optical illusion, if you will.
Oh, for sure.
But they should be the same. A 19-inch television and a 19-inch arcade tube should be the same. Again, when you do the tube swap, though, you will need to take the arcade monitor out of the frame and put the TV tube in the frame, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so you do want to make sure that you keep the framing of your arcade monitor for sure, even if you're chunking the tube. Tim, anything else here for Aaron on this question before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Sounds
good. An interesting question.
Yeah, they were both good questions, Tim. But thank you so much, Aaron, for your questions. Good luck doing some restore on that Centipede. Let us know what you decide to go with on the artwork side. And also let us know how it goes with the tube swap. Now, Tim, one of the tricks that I did want to mention while we were talking about this is that smoke plexi can work miracles with burn monitors.
It certainly does,
So if you're having problems finding a compatible tube with your chassis, or you just want to kind of cover it up until you can find a compatible tube, maybe a piece of dark plexi on the top of that monitor will hide a lot of that screen burn. Miss Pac-Man's a great example of a game that it works wonders on. Just a piece of smoke plexi will do. Well, you would be so surprised to see. Now, a lot of times you will need to turn your monitor up quite a bit,
right.
Brightness, contrast, a little bit, black level, in order to make it pop like it did without the smoke plexi. But it's worth it, and it does cover up that burn quite well. So,
agreed.
Okay, Tim, let us go back to the live chat real quick before we move on in the outline. Rexer Show says, doesn't he have to worry about the tube being compatible with the chassis? Yes, he does. But he did. The website that he references, Tim, gives him some options for compatible tubes. And so that's why we didn't really talk about that too much.
Right.
And if you have an Electro Home G07, that is a very compatible chassis with a lot of different tubes. And so, yes, you may have some compatibility issues, but to be honest with you, a vast majority of TV tubes work great with that chassis.
Especially those major brands like
RCA
and stuff, Magnavox or something that was really popular during the 80s.
Absolutely. And that tubular site, which we also link to down below, that Aaron referenced, you can go there. And like I said, he'll give you a list of compatible TV tubes with, I think it has 4 different chassis listed, which are the most common. And you can go there and see some compatible ones. Tim, we always go to the junknet.net website, and they have a Google document that has a whole bunch of compatible tubes as well. So if you're ever looking for that. But we like to say, if the tube fits, it probably works.
Right.
So, like if your neck board fits on the tube itself, a lot of times you should be good. If you want to measure the impedance and like the yoke ratings and all that kind of stuff, you can. But a lot of times, if it fits, it should be good to go. So.
Should be.
Nate Berg says, "Is using a TV monitor good for operating? If you don't have a chassis, can you use the CGA adapter board for the TV?" You can, but I mean, to be honest with you, if it's a CRT TV, you may just swap the tube if you can find a compatible one.
Right.
So now if you want to go TV, like an LCD TV in an arcade, we tend to shy away from that unless it's a good 4:3 arcade quality commercial grade LCD. something like what you'd buy from one of our parts suppliers like Twisted Quarter or HAP or somebody like that. You can find some really great 4x3 LCDs from Holland Computers, Tim, richarcade.us, which is one of our preferred parts suppliers. So if you're going to go that route, we don't like the converter boards. You can use the Gambus 8200. I know a lot of you guys like to and go with like a cheap off-the-shelf TV. But we will always prefer going with a commercial-grade arcade quality LCD from an actual arcade parts supplier that already supports the CGA TV mode without the adapter. Exactly. So 15 kilohertz without the adapter is key. The adapter boards are fine. It's just that they do cause a lot of headaches, Tim. You got to worry about adjustments, clamp settings, and stuff like that. And sometimes they'll work out the box, and sometimes they won't. So just save yourself the headache. Get you a nice commercial grade arcade quality LCD that already supports 15 kilohertz. I promise you. And a lot of times they even have the frame mounting kits, Tim, and they're drop-in ready, which makes them even better. So. Nate says, using a gun game and the monitor is gone from it. There's no replacement arcade monitors around here. So for gun games, depending on the gun game, you will need a CRT. So if it's a game that uses optical sensors, something like a police trainer, like what we have behind us, a Lethal Enforcers, Tim, you will need a CRT in order to get those light guns to work. Now, if it's something like a Terminator 2, a Revolution X, what else, Tim?
Something that's
Aliens Extermination, if you want to go something newer. Those are fine because those use a potentiometer-based light guns, and those are fine. A lot of the newer light gun games, something like Ghost Squad, uses like a Wii-style setup with like a light bar that kind of goes down there. The newer House of the Dead uses too, light bar, and then they have a sensor for the light bar, infrared style that works. So it just depends on what light game that you're using it with. But if it's an older style light gun game, like I said, a police trainer or a Lethal Enforcers, you will need a CRT tube in order to get them to register properly with the optical sensors. So,
True.
Okay, I think we're all caught up on the live chat, Tim. So let us move to our next question. This one's from Darryl, Tim.
Okay.
Darryl. He says, hello, I have a multi-game system that I bought from a friend. It has 32 games on it, Tim. Donkey Kong, Galaga, four kinds of Pac-Man, etc. Is there a chip I can buy that would let Miss Pac-Man go past 700,000 points? I have been past 800,000 on one man, but it glitched on me about 5 times, and now when I get to around 7,000 to 800,000, I guess it's glitching too. Would a regular old arcade machine help out? I have heard that you can add a better chip now. Any advice or help would be appreciated. Thanks, Darryl. Now, Tim, before we even get started into this, I want to applaud the man for getting like 700K on Miss Pac-Man.
Right.
Because I think the record is like, what, 900 something?
I don't know.
I mean, so you're kind of getting on up there. But anyway, you're getting pretty high up there. Now, the thing you have to remember about these multi-game boards, Tim, is that the emulation's kind of sucky. Is that a good way to say it?
Yep.
You got a better word?
Yeah, right. I guess so, yeah.
It's not great. So the emulation's not great. And you got to remember, we're not... this is not the original arcade hardware. This is a computer trying to simulate the arcade hardware. And so because of that, you will run into glitches and things like this from time to time. So there are some options that you can do if you wanted to fix this kind of glitch. Now, the newer multi-game boards, Tim, like the 60-in-1s, I think would work pretty well with this. Any other recommendations that you think would be better than the 32-in-1 board that he currently has in there now?
Not that I'm aware of. I think from what I understand, his question is, should he try it on original machine?
Yeah.
And that's what I would recommend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get original.
And more than likely, if he's got this multi-game board, Tim, it's probably JAMA.
Right.
And so you could get a Miss Pac-Man to JAMA adapter and put an actual Miss Pac-Man board in there.
Right.
And it would play pretty well. I mean, you got to remember, Miss Pac-Man doesn't have any buttons except for start. You know what I'm saying? Except for the 2 start buttons. And so on your cabinet, if you got the Miss Pac-Man to JAMA adapter and then you plugged in an actual Miss Pac-Man board, you can't run any more original than that, Tim, right? Now, some other things I would recommend would be the Arcade SD, which has better emulation overall for arcade games.
Okay.
And if you really wanted to spend a little bit more money and maybe have better support, you could go with an FPGA-based board, which is the ones that actually simulate the hardware. So it's all as far as it knows, it's running on the original hardware. So basically, FPGA means that it simulates the original hardware to a T. So it's not an emulation, it's a simulation, right?
Oh.
And so in that case, it acts just like the original board. So there's no emulation that goes into that. And so that's kind of your options here. The 16-in-1 may work, and that'd be your cheapest option by far. The Arcade SD is going to be more expensive. And Miss Pac-Man with a JAMA adapter is going to be even more expensive. And the FPGA-based JAMA board is going to be even more expensive. Wow. So I was trying to go from like cheapest to most extent. So
it's almost like a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine getting that high of a score. Maybe Rexer or somebody on here can. But,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
But I don't think the original would do it. So
yeah, exactly. I don't think you're getting the glitching with an original Miss Pac-Man board.
All right.
With that said. So let's go ahead and kind of summarize that real quick here, Tim, for Darryl, before we move on here. So first off, congrats for getting this high a score on Miss Pac-Man. Very impressive. As for your question, this glitch that you're experiencing may be a limitation of the older multi-game board in your cabinet. You might try replacing it with a newer 16-in-1 style board available on Amazon, eBay, wherever. Of course, you can also go with an original Miss Pac-Man board with a jam adapter. And Tim, that's what we have pictured here on the bottom there. This setup would act just like the original game. The same could be said of an FPGA-based board or setup as well. Like I said, those are usually a little bit more expensive. Another option would be the Arcade SD board, Tim, which has really great emulation.
Okay.
So any of those may be better than the 32-in-1. Tim, that 32-in-1's pretty old. I mean, I haven't seen a 32-in-1 multi-game board in forever, I feel like. 39-in-1s were super popular there for a while. Remember the 39-in-1s?
A 32-in-1's really, that's old school.
Yeah, remember the 4-in-1s? We thought those were cool. Or
16-in-1.
Yeah, exactly. So we've had a lot of those multi-game boards. So a 60-in-1 may not have that same problem. But if you really want to solve it, I mean, you can't get any more original than running like a jam adapter with an original Miss Pac-Man board. Or if you wanted to go with the FPGA-based board or an Arcade SD, probably all of those would work better than the 32-in-1 board that you currently have. So, Tim, anything else for Darryl before we move on?
No, let's move on.
There you go. So, Darryl, hopefully I answered your question. Let us know what you decide to go with for your solution, whether it's the adapter with the original board, FPGA-based board, or maybe an Arcade SD or something else. So. Coming back over to the live chat, Tim Jumpin' General says, getting ready to do a Kep kit and install a new flyback on my G07 with wish me luck. Any advice, Tim?
Yeah, just take your time. Make sure that you don't get in a rush. Just check your polarity once, then check it 2 more times. Make sure you're putting it in the right direction.
Yeah. Rory says, is he hitting the kill screen? Is there a kill screen on Miss Pac-Man? I don't believe there's a kill screen. There is on Pac-Man.
Right.
But I don't think there is on Miss Pac-Man.
I've never heard of one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Miss Pac-Man...
Of course, like I said, that's a lot more points than I've ever even attempted. So.
Absolutely, same here. If somebody wants to Google that for us, you can, but I'm pretty sure there's no kill screen on Miss Pac-Man. So there is, I forget what stage it is on Pac-Man, that you get to like the half screen. Is it 256? It's 256, right?
Yeah.
So when you get to 256 on the original Pac-Man, or 255, 256, somewhere around there, that's when you get like the half maze and half garbled screen because like there's just there's basically no more memory to do anything.
Again, never had a problem in my play.
No, me either. So there you go. But anyway, okay, I think we're caught up, Tim. So let us move to our next question here from Lito. And Lito writes, my name is Lito. I'm from Luanda, Angola.
Okay.
Luanda, that's what I'm going to say. Our company operates several Injoy motion simulators, including Dido Kart, Powerboat GT, Street Racing Star, and Project Zephyr. Recently, these machines experienced a system bug. After restoring the Windows 95 embedded operating system, which, man, Tim is old, some essential drivers were lost, which currently prevents the games from starting. We believe you may be able to help us resolve this issue. Please let us know if you can provide technical support, parts, or guidance, as well as the conditions and cost involved. Now, Tim, obviously these things are old. Okay, to be running Windows 95 embedded. I don't know. We've had 7 versions of Windows since then. 98, ME, 2000,
XP,
and then from XP, Vista, 7, 10, 11.
Right.
So 8. Yeah. I was close. So
pretty good.
Yeah, 8 different versions of Windows have come out and since Windows 95 embedded, and there's been embedded versions of all of those. And so, we're pretty far behind. Tim, this is common though, a common operating system to use in devices like this because they're, it's embedded systems. The embedded operating systems are kind of meant as standalone operating systems, which means you don't have to hook them up to the internet. You don't have to worry about updates. It kind of is a self-contained system. The problem he's running into, though, Tim, is that he can't find the drivers, which makes me think that they don't have the original restore disk for him.
Right.
Okay. Now, Tim, you've had a lot of experience with restoring these PC-based systems. What a lot of times do you have to do to get them back up and running?
Yeah, most of the time you would have a restore disk that you would have to do like that, unless it was like Linux-based or something. And those this one obviously is not.
Right.
A lot of times sometimes we'd have to contact the manufacturer send it in and let them do it. And he's not going to have that option either because they are no longer in business.
Exactly.
But didn't you find a YouTube channel about them?
I found their YouTube channel, Tim, but their website has been long gone. And Tim, I mean, Injoy was around for a little bit there. I want to say, though, I remember seeing Injoy stuff even as recent as 2022, maybe. So I think that they made it through COVID, but they probably tapped out somewhere around then.
Right.
And
so somewhere out there's some operators that probably have those restore discs, and you're going to have to go to their forums and different places and ask, and even post on their YouTube video and stuff in the comments or something. That's probably what you're going to need, and maybe you'll get lucky and find somebody that used to work there that has them or something, or they could send you something. But we're really not going to be much help.
Yeah, we don't have any of those. In fact, Tim, have you ever operated any Injoy motion simulators?
I have never had one.
I've seen them before, but we've never had one. We never operated.
I don't think so. If I did, I don't remember it.
Exactly. So they're quite rare here in the United States, I would say. I've seen Dido Kart before for sure, but some of the other ones I've never even heard of.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where we just don't have a lot of those stateside. But like Tim mentioned, I think he gave you some good advice. Somebody may have the restore disc out there. That's the way you're probably going to have to go, is see if you can find someone who will lend them to you. Now, if they have a working machine, you may be able to pull the image off of the working machine and then copy it to your machine and get it working as well. So that'd be the other option. But Tim, let's go ahead and go over those real quick, what you discussed. Unfortunately, we do not have access to the drivers for these games. Your best bet would either be to contact Injoy Motion directly if they are still in business. Right. So their old website, which was enjoymotion.com, does not have any info out there, but you might try their YouTube channel, Tim, and we have links to both these down below in the show notes. Try that, maybe post in the comment section on one of those videos, maybe one for Dido Kart, and say, hey, I'm looking for restore disc for this game, and maybe somebody will get back to you. You can try contacting one of the dealers in your area. Maybe here, Tim, Primetime Amusements, they're a dealer that deals in Enjoy motion simulators, and so maybe you can find somebody in your area that is a distributor for them, or was a distributor for them, that may have some stuff. Or you can see if you can find the original restore disc for the games. And like Tim mentioned, try posting in some of the arcade forums we have listed on our website. KLOV is a great place for that, exactly. arcademuseum.com. And see if there's someone there that has some restore disc. If you see one out and about, talk to the tech and say, hey, I've got this same game. Do you have the re-image stuff for this? And see if they can give that to you as well. But that's those are probably your options at this point. And the biggest option is probably going to be just trying to find somebody who has a working machine now that may have those restore discs. Tim, and like you said, maybe somebody out there used to work for the company and now they're just holding on to those restore discs.
Maybe so. Or they have the files or something that they could download or something.
Right, exactly. So I think for the most part, that's going to be your best bet, is trying to find somebody who is currently operating the game who can give you some restore discs. But unfortunately, we don't have anything to give you. We're not the ones who've really worked on these motion simulators in the past. And so try posting on their YouTube page, though. See if somebody responds back to you. And then try posting in some of the arcade forums that you're looking for those restore discs. And hopefully somebody will have some that may be able to loan you or make you a copy. So, Lito, anything else for Lito here, Tim?
I don't think so.
Okay, sounds good. Lito hopefully answers your question. And good luck getting those restore discs and drivers.
Those are some pretty rare games for us in our area.
Yeah. And Windows 95, Tim, that means that we're looking, that means we're probably looking at a pre-2000 release. We're talking about more than 25 years ago at this point. So trying to find those may be difficult, but good luck in your search. And if anybody is listening or watching this and has some restore discs for some of the Enjoy Motion games, let us know. Tim, if the company's out of business, I don't mind posting a link on our website and uploading them there and keeping them for posterity. So there you go. But anyway, good luck, Lito. Let us know what you end up finding, or if you have any luck finding those driver and restore discs. Coming back over to the live chat, Tim. Rory says, just Googled the Miss Pac-Man. There is a kill screen between boards 134 and 141. Wow. There is a video out there where the maze disappears. The gamer had 900K points regardless. Darryl score is impressive. That's what I was thinking, too. I was thinking 900 was like top score, 900,000. I don't think anybody's hit 1 million on it. So, so Darryl's high up there. Good job,
Thank you for that research.
Yeah, I didn't even know it. Let's see. Mark says, are all tubes the same? Example, R-Stage Zenith tube for my Neo Geo. No. So not all tubes are the same. Is different. But I will say, if you can find one that's the same size as the one in your game, there is a good chance it'll fit. 60%. How about that? 60% chance that you may have a compatible tube. The biggest things you need to do is make sure that the neck board fits on the back, and then make sure that the impedance is the same. Tim, junknet.net talks about how to measure the impedance on your yoke, and to make sure that the yoke is the same. You can do a yoke swap, but that's even more pain.
Right.
So
I wouldn't attempt.
Yeah, I was about to say, try to find a tube with a yoke that already works. It'll save you a lot of trouble. So, but they are not all the same. But if the yoke if the neck board fits, you got a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
So, but still do the measurements on the yoke.
It's got to have the right number of pins and stuff, or just like your.
And it's got to be keyed the same. Keyed the same. That's key. And do not force neck boards on people, please.
Yeah.
Gentle. So. Okay, Tim, I think we're once again caught up on live chat. Okay. So let us go to this next 2-part question from Rory. Now, Tim, we should probably mention. Yes, Rory's in the chat. Now, we should say that the title for tonight's episode, the first half came from our first question. Okay. Pink outlines, burn in, because, and the my memory part comes from Rory's.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah,
pink outlines, burn in my memory. That's right. So it's always fun to come up with titles like that. So. Before I get to that though, Jumpin' General says, I see Arcade Repair Tips' very first video was March of 2009. Thank you guys for all your help and dedication. That's right.
Wow.
How many people are still doing videos who did a video back in 2009, Tim? How many people are still constantly updating their channel? I want to know.
I don't know.
So we're one. So let's see. 2009, 2026, Tim. I think we've been doing them for 17 years.
That sounds about right.
And now here's the thing. Our website went live in 2008, and our first articles went live in 2008. So our first video was March of 2009, and so that is correct. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long time.
I don't even know what our first video was. Our first
maybe my first arcade
was our arcade repair toolbox.
Well, I think the first article was parts of an arcade cabinet.
Parts of an
something
arcade
like
cabinet.
that.
Maybe so.
But I think the toolbox one was definitely shortly after that, and it could be. It was definitely one of the first that we did. So I don't know if that was the first video though.
It's been a minute.
It's been long enough that Arcade Repair Tips could drive or almost graduate from high school at this point. So it's been that long. But anyway, let us continue on to our last questions from Rory, Tim. And I think this is the same Rory that's in the live chat.
Okay.
Rory, if it's you, let us know. So here we go. Hi, Tim and Jonathan. I have a Tron cocktail cabinet and I just installed a new power supply in it. But I lost the battery that kept the high scores and game settings stored. I would like to get an NVRAM chip for it, but it requires installing a socket where the RAM is currently installed. Seems easy, but I only have a cheap sucker to solder. Should I attempt this, or will it risk damaging my PCB with too much heat? Any recommendations? So, Tim, Roy wants to try to install an NVRAM chip. Now, we should say you don't have to install the socket if you don't want to. You could install the chip directly in place, I believe, of the original chip. But the socket is just good to have in case in case the chip, something happens to it, you need to replace it. Much rather have the socket there. Now, Tim, based on what Rory has, he's saying he just has basically a cheap solder sucker, and maybe you didn't say what kind of soldering iron he has.
Right.
He just has a cheap solder sucker. And so, with that said, do you think that Rory has the tools he needs to get this done?
Well, we like to use solder wick,
yes.
And it took a while to. Now it depends on how thick the solder is. If the solder's really thick, the sucker works just fine.
Yes.
And a lot of people are really good at it, but you're right. I tend to do that. I tend to leave it on the board too long, and then the easiest thing to do is to go ahead and flow new solder and then use it. Yeah. So you have fresh solder. It doesn't take long to heat up, and sometimes you'll get that old solder. But if you've seen our videos or know anything about solder wick, it's like $3 or $5. And a roll will last you a long time unless you're doing an incredible amount of repairs. Yeah. I would recommend getting a little wider braid.
I was looking to see if I have any up here. I've got solder. I do not have solder wick. It's over in my toolbox.
But I think you're going to show a picture of it, right?
I am here in a second.
And it kind of comes in what looks like a copper shoestring.
Yep.
That's what it reminds me of.
That's a great description.
Or kind of like tape, measuring tape or something. And you use a little bit and cut it, and it sucks the solder, and it goes into there. And you can actually watch it do it in real time, and it kind of helps me to keep from getting too hot. Now, I have done it too hot with that. So the first thing I highly recommend, though, is putting fresh solder on it, and then coming right back with the wick, and you can desolder that. It shouldn't be that difficult, and I think we showed some videos on that. Or You can watch some more professional solder people that do it. But it may also, you said, I'll be honest that, when I first started out, there was a lot of stuff that I wouldn't use today. I've learned to get better brands, better equipment, and even a nice solder sucker doesn't cost that much.
Right.
So you might want to upgrade to a nicer brand too. This might help you a lot.
Now, he didn't say what kind of soldering iron he had, and that is very important as well, right, Tim?
Right.
So what would you recommend for soldering
Well,
irons?
we like the Weller brand. That's just something I've always used.
Nothing against Hacko. Hacko is good too.
Right. And so it's a preference, but that's what we use in a lot of our videos that you can watch and see.
Yeah. If you're worried about burning up traces, we would highly recommend getting a Weller with the temperature control on it.
Right.
Okay, because the temperature control will kind of make sure, you can kind of dial it in and make sure that you don't get it too hot.
Right.
People always ask us what temperature the solder is around, Tim, and I finally kind of did a lot of research and kind of looked at I looked at my soldering iron, and I was like, so 350 degrees Celsius is pretty common, Tim. In fact, that's what you'll see most of them set on. But to be honest with you, if you want to make sure you're not burning traces, I would dial that back to 300 and just gently turn it up until the solder melts pretty easily. Solder, when you put the iron on it, it should melt within a couple of seconds.
Right.
Okay, if it doesn't melt that quick, turn it up a little bit, right? Turn up your temperature just a little bit more and get it to where, dial it in just perfect to where when you hit it, but don't overheat it because, again, we don't want to burn up traces. So there we go. Tim, anything else before I show the slide here?
Well, even if you burn a trace, not the end of the world either.
That's true. You can repair that as well. So let me go ahead and put this up here, Tim. This is the first part of Roy's questions. He says you should be able to install the socket with the tools you have. With that said, it is possible to burn up a trace or damage the PCB if too much heat is applied. You may consider getting a soldering iron that has a temperature control. Tim, this is the newer version of the blue one that you have that actually has the digital readout. I think yours still is using the dial. This one has a digital readout. You'll see that digital readout that's set to 350 because that's pretty much 350 Celsius is pretty much around where you want to be. And I would say, again, start around 300 degrees Celsius and adjust as needed. If it takes longer than 3 to 4 seconds to melt the solder, turn up the temperature a little bit, maybe 10 or 15 degrees, try again. Desoldering iron can help as well, Tim, which we do prefer to the solder suckers and pumps. Either one is good. If you have a good soldering iron, solder pumps are fine too. But desoldering irons are nice because the heat and the pump are together, and so as soon as you feel it melt, you can suck it up real quick.
Right.
And that way with these desoldering irons, you don't have to have, but it doesn't take both your hands.
Right.
It really only takes one hand.
Right.
Which is nice. So a little bit gives you a little bit more freedom there. And like Tim mentioned, solder wick, so helpful for removing solder. And Tim, the solder wick is great for when you don't have solder just clumped on there, like you were talking about. When there's just a little bit of solder, like somebody just kind of did a quick touch solder job kind of thing on those chips. If you put the solder wick on there, you can just lay it across and go suck. And
you can use some flux removal and stuff. But once you get that flux off, that old flux and stuff, it'll usually just suck it right out and leave a really good hole.
Absolutely. So solder wick is one of our favorite things to use by far. But get you a good soldering iron. I mean, the Weller is not that much, Tim. I want to say it's like $100 max.
Yeah,
I was about to say it's really not that much.
You say, well, even if you don't have that money, this is a good time to drop a hint. That maybe your birthday's coming up or something, and have some people can go in together and you can get one.
You can get the cheaper Weller with the temperature control with the dial, I think for 50 or 60.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want something with temperature control, we would recommend that. Hackos are good too, Tim. Man, Hackos are good. So like the Hacko, this is a Hacko desoldering gun right here. Man, that thing is great. This is the old school desoldering iron that you see kind of down in the bottom right hand corner, and then a little roll of solder wick down there as well, just to give you an idea of what those look like.
Yeah,
so.
and you might ask somebody. You got to remember, we do this very rarely now as a hobby. Some of our stuff's probably outdated. Maybe guys who repair boards all the time would be okay to ask them and what they recommend because we don't do this for a living.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're still very much, I guess we did it one time, but now
every day, and now it's every few months.
Exactly. So now it's more on the hobby side, but I mean, the tools we still have should still work for you as well. But like Tim mentioned, if you want to get another opinion, make contact somebody like our friend Raymond, Tim, who does a lot of board repair. They can probably give you some good recommendations as well. Okay, let's go to the second part of Roy's question here, Tim. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. The Tron cocktail, he's saying, also has some crackles, pops, and visual static when in attract mode and when switching from one game to the next. The light cycles to tanks, for instance. Is this a normal or an indication of some issues. You can barely hear the sounds. My machine has always done this. I found this extra ground strap at the bottom of the cabinet along with an unused Molex. I cannot recall if that was not needed after the power supply swap or maybe never used by the cabinet. Could this be causing the static and sounds? Not sure if other Tron cabinets or all original vintage games do this. Just curious. Now, Tim, you may correct me on this, but I do believe that there's usually a little bit of a little like almost glitch or something between those games just regularly.
I've heard it do that plenty of times.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Didn't think much about
we've had several Tron cabinets, and I think every Tron cabinet I've played, like when you're switching between the games, you get like a little screen glitch for a second, and then it kicks right over. I feel like that's pretty common, Tim, for the most part. But what do you think about some of the other stuff?
But I would definitely replace or get that ground strap hooked back up. That's going to help. Yeah. And he's probably right about the Molex connectors. Probably when they switch the power supply.
Yeah,
may not
need that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things you can do. Even new speakers, believe it or not, you can get those up to date, or some shielded speakers may help. But if it bothers you that much, you could probably do some extreme things like that. But it's also pretty common. Anybody else that has a Tron in the group can confer.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, you had one for a lot of years, and then
like I did it.
I was about to say we've worked on who knows how many.
But like I said, I never really dug into it because it didn't bother me that much. Also, the potentiometer is old in there. Sometimes if you replace that can help with some of those issues. Also,
Sounds
a newer model version of it.
Yeah, and I threw some other stuff in here, Tim, including the stuff that you talked about. And I'll go ahead and show that real quick. And Delusional's Arcades here says that's normal screen chatter on the side of the screen. Yeah, we see that all the time on Tron. It's very common. It's common to have some cracks, pops, and visual static in Tron when switching between games. With that said, you might try turning the power supply voltage up just a bit, maybe just a little bit, just to see if it helps the issue. Improper grounding can also cause some weird anomalies like this. Make sure that grounding strap you mentioned is grounded properly, and remove any additional or extra wiring and connectors that may no longer be in use from the power supply conversion. If the issues continue, you might upload a video to YouTube, send us a link so we can get a better idea of the problem. But I do remember there's a little glitch almost every time you go into one of those games.
Yep.
But anyway, it's very common. But if you're worried about it, send us a video. Upload a video to YouTube. Send the link over to us, and let's take a look at it. Definitely, Tim. I'd love to do that. So, anything else here for Rory, Tim, before we move on?
No, I don't think so. Is that the same Rory that's in the chat?
Yes, it is.
Today?
It is. So, he's there. So, Rory, hopefully that answers your question, gives you some places to start, and please keep us updated on your Tron cocktail. Tim, I love the Tron cocktail. Yeah, it has that little joystick with the little turn button on it, and I always love that thing. So, I love Tron cocktails are fantastic, great stuff, guys. So, Rory, good luck with yours. Hopefully, you can get it fully working, fully ready to go, and invite some people over, have a good time with it. So. Jumpin' General also said MTV is gone, but cheers to another 50 years here. I don't know about that, guys. 50 years is pushing it. we're gonna be pushing it to what 18, whatever the next milestone is. We're pushing it. So, no, MTV is still around though, Tim. I believe
I think they didn't they show the last.
They canceled some MTV channels, but not the main MTV channel. Okay. I believe it's still around, Tim. So. But there are quite a few MTV channels that are no longer around. So there you go. But it kind of makes me sad. I liked MTV. But anyway. Tim, speaking of Tron, so, while everybody was in the ice and snow, for Christmas, part of my kids' Christmas was to go to Disney World.
Right.
I was in Disney World in Orlando, Florida, while everybody was in the ice and snow here. So, but I got to ride Tron. The Tron Light Cycle run.
Wow.
Our whole family did, including my 7-year-old.
Oh, fun.
And I think he still won't forgive me for that. It was pretty intense. It's a 2.5 minute ride, but it takes you pretty quick, Tim. If you ever wondered what riding on a light cycle feels like, Tim, I can tell you.
Wow. It's fun.
It's pretty intense.
Cool.
So, it was cool. The nice thing is that it was fast, but it didn't drop you a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Lots of tight turns, right? Like you'd expect. Okay. And the drops were little drops. Yeah, there wasn't like a big drop, right, kind of thing. So, but it was a cool ride. So if you guys haven't already and you're near Orlando, Florida, go check out Tron Light Cycle Run. It was really cool. So there we go. Okay, Tim. Let us move into our news and discussion for this month, Tim. And we've got only 4 stories, really, that I felt like were worth discussing for tonight. But, Tim, somebody left an iTunes review. We officially hit 50 iTunes reviews after like 3 years. Yay!
Well, thank you if that was you.
Absolutely. So we will read that review after the news and discussion section. But Tim, let's go ahead and get to some of this real quick. This first one is about the Sega mini arcades, Tim.
Okay.
And it says, after a year of silence, the My Arcade Sega mini arcades are coming this year. And so, Tim, they announced these a year ago, but apparently nobody, they didn't say anything else until like now about it, you know? And so that was the big problem. But now we are finding out some more details. After nearly a year of silence on the project, My Arcade's lineup of Sega licensed mini arcade cabinets is finally moving forward and slated to launch this year. The lineup includes retro favorites like Outrun, Sonic, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe, with the Sonic units already available and other shipping in April. Fans got a fresh look at the devices at CES 2026, reigniting excitement for the official mini arcade hardware. Now, Tim, I think the coolest one out of these is the Outrun cabinet, which you can see here has the mini steering wheel on it, as well as the little mini shifter. And just a cool form factor, Tim.
Yep.
So for those of you guys who are into collecting mini arcades, Tim, you know, do any of these games really strike a chord with you? Is this all stuff that was kind of past your
Oh, no, I
prime?
love Outrun. I
Outrun?
would really love to play that. Mini
Outrun is fun. And then, Tim, of course, we've had
Golden Axe.
Yeah, Golden Axe is a big one. You know, Shinobi, Tim. I had a Shinobi cabinet at one time.
You
Remember
did.
that? So, an actual Sega Shinobi. It was in a Williams cabinet, if I remember correctly. So, I do kind of miss that Shinobi sometimes. It's a good game. So, it's always good to get this mini arcade hardware out there, guys. And so, if you guys are interested in purchasing any of this stuff, let us know which one you're going to be buying. And, Tim, they should be here in April, just in time for baseball season. Which I don't know why you get people gifts on baseball season, but there you go. So anyway, good stuff, guys. This next news story, Tim, is very interesting. This is about a typo in the original version of Street Fighter II, The World Warrior.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do this. Capcom once fixed a typo in Street Fighter II, The World Warrior by using a pixel from Guile's leg, Tim. So there you go. Capcom fixed a typo in the Street Fighter II, The World Warrior arcade logo just days before the units were set to ship. Now, this is in the original version, Tim, like the literally first version of Street Fighter II. So designer Akira Nishitani noticed Warrior was misspelled on the title screen. The team creatively repurposed part of another sprite to correct the lettering, even using a single pixel from Guile's leg to form the dot on the eye.
Okay.
This quirky fix has become a beloved bit of arcade gaming lore among fans of the classic fighter. So you can see here, Tim, this is kind of a mock-up of what it looked like.
Yep.
So what happened is that they had already programmed all the sprite ROMs. Okay, for the letters and everything. Well, they had already sent the boards off to production, and they had the misspelling in the sprite ROM.
Okay.
So what they had to do is they had to programmatically fix it because they already had the ROMs programmed. You know, the sprite ROMs are usually more expensive, and you can't change them. Whereas with the programmatic ROMs, you can. And so they were able to basically tell the game how to rearrange the letters and use some pixels to hide some stuff in order to make it look correct.
Wow.
So it's a programming fix literally after they had sent the boards off for production that they were able to do so that it wouldn't have the misspelling in there. Great story. You should read the whole article. It's fantastic.
Knew, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody ever knew. It looked a little weird on those first versions, like Warrior with the with like the way that they fixed it. You could tell like it looked like the letters were kind of smushed a little bit, but the spelling was correct, Tim. So that's what matters. So really interesting story. Read the whole thing on Event Hubs, guys. If you're interested, I as a programmer, Tim, I find stuff like that just awesome. So I love it. Great history, and I'm glad that we don't have the misspelling in any of the versions now. So there you go. You may be able to find a version that has it.
That would be cool.
So there you go.
Got the rare version
for sure. Now, Tim, this next news bit is pretty interesting. Logan Airport adds free classic arcade games. Public will get to pick out new signage. And this is from CBS News, Tim. Logan International Airport in Boston has installed free classic arcade games, including Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Frogger, Galaga, and more in several terminals for travelers to enjoy. Now, Tim, if you look at these cabinets, these are real cabinets.
Right.
These are not
not arcade one-up.
These are, yeah, exactly. Not arcade one-up. These are fully restored, classic looking, everything looks like it should arcade cabinets. Honest to good arcade cabinets. The games require no quarters and are part of an effort to make layovers more fun and nostalgic. Passengers have been delighted to rediscover retro gameplay while waiting for flights. Tim, I've never flown into Boston before. Have you?
I have.
Okay. You've been to Logan
I've been
International?
to Logan, and I'm wondering I might go to Logan next month unless I get a direct flight to Connecticut. So Logan would be another airport that you would get and
Yes.
then switch to a smaller plane.
So,
But maybe I get a straight
if you
flight
end up
to
having a
Connecticut.
layover there, I want to know.
Okay.
If you see these free arcade games.
I'll look them up.
Apparently, they have them in several terminals, Tim. It's not just one. And they're
nice.
free.
Nice.
Man.
No quarters.
No quarters needed. That's amazing. So, I don't know who all is responsible for that, but that's pretty incredible. So, good stuff there. I'd love to hear that kind of stuff. Tim, anything that can kill that layover time,
Right.
laying over in airports is no fun. So, hopefully you guys haven't had to do that. And Tim, this is the last news and discussion story for this month, Tim. And this one is on the long-lost Genesis sequel to Pit Fighter. And apparently they found it, and they have dumped the ROMs now. But Tim, a long-lost Genesis sequel to Pit Fighter has been uncovered thanks to the preservation efforts of the Video Game History Foundation. The prototype ROM was pieced together from fragments and restored into a playable build for the first time in decades. According to the article, Tim, this is the interesting thing. The Genesis version was developed in tandem with the arcade version. So literally, when they were developing the arcade version, they were programming the Genesis. There were other programmers working on the Genesis version at the same time for release. The discovery sheds new light on a forgotten chapter of early fighting game history. Now, Tim, are you a Pit Fighter fan?
Not much.
Me either. Now, when I was a kid, the arcade that I went to had a Pit Fighter, Tim. And I remember people playing it, and I never got it.
Yeah.
Now, it was the first game that I remember using the digitized graphics like what we have with Mortal Kombat, right? Like where you digitize actual people and you put them as sprites in the game. But I was never really a fan of the gameplay. I felt like it was kind of clunky. Is that a good way to say it? Clunky? Obviously, Mortal Kombat took that same kind of formula with the real people digitization stuff and just took it to a whole nother level. But the sequel to Pit Fighter, Tim, I don't think was ever officially released, even in the arcades. It may have been an arcade release, but I want to say it was prototyped the entire time. I don't think we ever saw it in many locations. Of course, that has been dumped now, and now the Genesis version has been dumped as well. And Tim, like I said, it's interesting that they are putting resources towards doing the Genesis version at the same time as the arcade version. But maybe that's because they thought that they would release it shortly after and make like double income, right, or whatever the case may be. So again, we always like to hear about the preservation efforts of video games, and we're glad that there's another one out there that people can play that may not have otherwise had a chance to play. So good stuff there. Thank you to organizations like the Video Game History Foundation, Tim, and all the efforts that they put forth, because without these organizations, these games would be lost forever. So there we go.
All right. Before we go any further,
Okay.
I have some news hot off the press.
Oh, press. Okay.
I just sent it to you.
You sent it to me.
So I don't have a news article, but I do have it straight from the horse's mouth.
Horse's mouth. Okay.
So David McPhillips, after 6 amazing years, I'm stepping down as president and CEO of the most spectacular family entertainment and restaurant company, CEC Entertainment. I've enjoyed every day of my tenure here and feel it's a great time for transition with fantastic leadership team in place. He goes on talking about we've accomplished a lot together, overcoming COVID-19, a bankruptcy and debt restructuring. But Chuck E. Cheese, I think they're going to promote from within.
It says right here, our CFO, Scott Drake, has been named as our new president and CEO.
Yeah, so I just thought that was pretty interesting that after only 6 years, Now,
what has happened in the last 6 years?
Exactly, it's been a tough 6 years.
Yes.
So is he moving over to, kind of doing the right thing, that he took them through a tough time and moving over, or is he jumping ship?
Yeah.
And saying, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I got another job. He doesn't say what he's going to do.
I'm taking my golden parachute and leaving, Tim.
Exactly. So anyway, I thought you might find that interesting. I got that off his LinkedIn page, which I guess I'm on his or something.
So you were working at Chuck E. Cheese there for a little bit under his tenure, correct?
Yeah,
when you went back for like that short
Maybe.
period of time, right?
A very short period of time. Yeah. So
you were, I think, because you through COVID, you were still a Dairy Queen, right? And
yes.
Then you went back to Chuck E. Cheese. Then
right,
you went
for a few months.
Or you went to Mr. Gaddy's.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened.
Yeah, right.
At Mr. Gaddy's, and then you went back to Chuck E. So you would have been there that about 1 month you had at Chuck E.
Maybe a few. Yeah.
It was probably under his tenure. Tim, is there anything that Chuck E. Cheese can do at this point?
It's like we have it seems like they have thrown all the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks, and nothing seems to be sticking besides the original Chuck E. Cheese. So that's what we keep saying is quit. I would just focus on what you do well.
Yeah.
And you're a noisy kids place. Be a noisy kids place, and You know, you're not a trampoline park. You're a kid's place with video games and pizza.
Yeah.
Now, I've always thought they should have some adult games there, or TVs for dads to watch football, or something like that. That's always been. I can't understand why they don't do
Dave
that.
and Buster's.
Yeah,
That's their niche, right?
Right. So, I mean, if a lot of people are going to be there for their kids to support their birthday parties and stuff, but go to Chuck E. Cheese on any given day. It's a lot of women.
It is.
And so, the dads staying away, I would bring them in because sometimes they really like to open their wallets, especially when their kids are having a birthday or whatever. But you got to give them a reason to be there. I don't know.
So the Chuck's Arcade, I mean, I feel like was a good attempt, but I mean, they should have been doing that years ago.
Right.
And
could have worked years ago. Maybe it's a little too late.
And as somebody who I just got back from Disney and we saw a lot of animatronics. I would love to see a new animatronic Chucky. I would love to see it.
Right.
I mean, with what they can do nowadays,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. It'll blow you away, some of these animatronics. Why can't we get Chuck E. Cheese updated?
Right.
And here's the thing, cost too has gone down tremendously for our animatronics because
and how
of that.
the animatronics there interact with you.
Yes, exactly.
You could talk to it and stuff.
So we did a meet and greet with Toothless.
Wow.
From How to Train Your Dragon.
Right.
Okay, like the dragon. It's an AI animatronic.
Right.
When you look it in the eyes, it looks you in the eye.
Right.
When you touch it, it reacts.
So can you imagine if Chucky looked like that?
Right.
And reacted, and each kid got to spin. Instead, you wouldn't have walk-around characters. You would have animated characters that could interact. And if you're 5, 6 years old, you're going to know the difference.
Yes.
You're going to be like, wow, that's
exactly.
great. You're going to be like, this is awesome.
Yes.
That's the best birthday ever, right?
Right.
But you're right. Walk-around characters, they can be about 5 years old. They already know that's that guy. I just saw him. And
right, exactly.
how come Chucky was 6 feet a minute ago and now he's 4'11"? And, he weighs 90 pounds. He lost, 200 pounds in the last 30 minutes. So I think something like that would be the direction I would take them in. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, it's not. I think people are still wowed by animatronics.
I think so.
Like when I see it, and so like even the old Chuckies were amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like the one you used to work on all the time. I mean, I still love those things. They're awesome. And there's a reason why Five Nights at Freddy's is so popular too. Right. And for some reason they have really wanted to run away from that. And I feel like if I was them, you would embrace that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I would think so. Yeah, but I mean, what do we know? Apparently, I don't know.
They didn't ask my opinion.
The problem is that they've got a ton of debt, and they've been able to push it and push it and push it. But we all know that it's going to come. What's the old saying? Like the chickens are going to come to home to roost or whatever. Yeah. We know that they're going to have to deal with that debt at some point. When they do, Tim, I mean, it's going to take a major bailout, or they're just going to sink.
Right.
Okay. And right now, I think they would sink.
I think he jumped ship. That's my opinion, but I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know when that debt call is. When is the debt call next? Is it 2027? Something? I forgot how far out they pushed it. Maybe 2030. But when that happens, Tim, they're going to either have to push it out further, or they're going to have to get some help, some investment help. And I don't know if anybody's willing to take a chance on them.
New CEO. We'll see what they can do.
Exactly. So, but the problem is that
time to do it.
I mean, this, like when you've already got a massive amount of debt, you have to make a lot of profit to cover up that debt. And I feel like they operate lean. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know how you make profit. That's the problem, right?
Right.
I mean, you have to be careful about how you price yourself because you're a kid's place.
Something I learned a long time ago. Sales fix everything.
Sure.
Get them in the door. They'll spend money.
Yeah.
It's not really about the money. I think it's still a pretty good deal. But, you got to get them in the door, and you got to keep them when they're there. Sales fixes everything.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
You can cut costs and do all this stuff, but if you're not gaining in sales, nothing else is going to work.
Yeah. But the problem is that I feel like they're getting away from what made them different then.
Exactly.
Somebody, I listen to a lot of business podcasts, and one of the guys I really like, he says there's only two ways to be, better than or different than. Okay, are you better than somebody? Right. Or are you different than somebody? And the thing about Chuck E. Cheese up to this point has been different. They're very different in the fact that they had animatronics, that they had kind of this legacy of arcades and stuff like that. And I feel like the further they get away from that, they're taking out the different than, and they're just becoming another family entertainment center.
And there's the rub. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to be very careful. You got to figure out, how are we different than? And I think one thing is you do embrace the history, kind of like what we've talked about. But I do think that you need to update, in a way that people are astounded by. Like if you heard that your Chuck E. Cheese had like a new animatronic Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, I think people would at least visit. You get some people in the door like you're talking about.
I think so.
Who knows? So there you go. Thank you for the news, Tim. We have finished up with the news and discussion, Tim, and now let me read our first review in like 3 years. Thank you so much. So
the 50th one.
The 50th one on iTunes. That is correct, Tim. So let me read this. Now it's from AFJDSAK.
Okay.
But Aaron, who wrote earlier the question, Tim, said that he was going to try to leave a review.
Okay.
So Aaron, if this was you, thank you. I don't know, that's why I put the question mark there. But whoever it was, thank you. Here's what they write. I've been listening to this podcast for about a year now and really enjoy the blend of practical advice and chit-chat between the two hosts. It's a nice way to spend time while driving, and you can learn something along the way. Thanks.
Awesome.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we try to do here.
Right.
So thank you so much. 50 iTunes reviews. We got there.
Finally.
It took forever, but we got there. So thank you guys so much for all your support. We always appreciate it. And we're so glad that you like to sit around and listen to schlubs like us talk. So that's really what it comes down to, right?
That's it.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up, Tim, real quick. Let's talk about this real quick. We do want your arcade-related videos. If you want some free advertising for your YouTube channel, we're always looking for people to submit short videos around 10 minutes or less about arcade-related topics. Send a link of your video to questions@arcaderepairtips.com and our staff will review it. If we like it, we'll use it during one of our live show episodes. Make sure you put a plug in for your channel so people know where to find you. And we look forward to seeing your submissions. And Tim, we've always kind of left this door open just in case there's people out there that may be just on the cusp of getting monetized. We want to be able to help you guys out and maybe give you just that push that you need. Maybe a couple more views, a couple more subscribers just to get you over the hump of being monetized. And so if that's you, if you're on the cusp and you need some help, send over one of your videos to us at questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Of course, we do want it to be arcade related, so somehow, some way. Even if your channel is not arcade related, as long as you have some videos that are, we don't mind promoting it. So send it over to us if you guys need some promotion. We would love to promote you and hopefully get you over that hump of monetization. And then, Tim, we have our contact information. We have our general email at questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Of course, if you put live show in the subject, you get it mentioned on the show. Otherwise, we will answer it when we get around to it. But that is definitely the best way to get a hold of us. That's questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Now, Tim, I'm going to say something that's not on this outline right here. And this is just a little trick for some of you guys who may want to contact us in a different way. Tim, we don't put this out there very often, but we do have our voicemail line, right?
We do have.
Okay, 972 number 8 AR tips is an arcade repair tips, or 972-827-8477. Tim, you can leave a voicemail there, but did you know you can text us there too?
You can.
So if you want to text us at 972-827-8477. Send your text there and we will respond. Okay, you can leave a voicemail too, but I promise you texts work better because a lot of times we don't have time to listen to your voicemail and we're not good at calling people back. But if you want to text, 972-827-8477. Send us a text. You can
send a picture or something, what you're working on.
You can send a picture and it'll come right to us. It's a great way to get in contact with us. We don't put it here. It is on the header for the YouTube page, though. You'll see the voicemail number there. But that voicemail number is also a text number as well. So feel free to text us there if you would rather do that. We have our YouTube page at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. Of course, those of you guys who are in the live chat this evening absolutely know how to get to our YouTube page, but maybe you're listening to this on the audio podcast feed and you just want to watch the video version of this. Then you want to go to youtube.arcaderepairtips.com and check out this video for episode 108. And we do follow up on comments from the last live show on the next episode. So if you guys leave your comments on this one, we'll try to get to them in episode 109. And of course, we also have the after show on the YouTube page, Tim, which you will not get if you're listening to the audio podcast feed. If you want to hear that after show, you will need to look up the YouTube video for this episode in order to hear that. And of course, Tim, the after show is just like the regular show, except it's free form. We talk about whatever we want. And I can almost guarantee I'll talk to you guys more about the Disney trip if you guys are interested in that. Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about that audio podcast feed, Tim, that contains live shows, interviews, question and answer podcast, etc. You will find that on pretty much anywhere where podcasts are found, but especially on our Spreaker page at spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com, our Spotify page on spotify.arcaderepairtips.com, and our iTunes page at itunes.arcaderepairtips.com. And maybe you can be cool like the guy I did this month and leave us another review, Tim. Maybe we can get 51. Great. That'd be great. But you can leave reviews on all 3 of those platforms. So if you would be so kind, we would love for you to do that. Again, Spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com, Spotify.arcaderepairtips.com, or iTunes.arcaderepairtips.com to find our audio podcast feed. So if you're listening there, thank you for listening. And make sure you check out the video for this episode if you really want to hear that after show audio. And then, Tim, we have our social media pages. We have our Facebook page at facebook.arcaderepairtips.com, facebook.arcaderepairtips.com, and our Twitter/X feed at twitter.arcaderepairtips.com. Tim, we post at least one post every single day. Mm-hmm. Every single day you will get some form of arcade-related goodness delivered to your social media feed, which is way better than probably half the stuff you've got on your feed already, right? Right. You can skip all the political talk, skip all of the pictures of like family members, and just go straight to the real news that you want, which is the arcade-related stuff, just by going to our social media pages at facebook.arcaderepairtips.com and twitter.arcaderepairtips.com. Tim, I know it's X now. It will always be Twitter in my life. Right. So there we go. Okay, well, Tim, like I said, we do have the after show coming up. So if you guys are watching this for the first time, you never watched the live show before, we take about a 5-minute break after the live show in order to transition into the after show. That's really just me and Tim going to the bathroom is basically what it is.
Getting something to drink.
Yeah, getting something to drink. And so then we come back. And the after show is just like the regular live show, except we talk about any topic. Tim will be talking about TV shows, movies. I will talk about Winter Storm Fern a little bit and how I skipped town and went to Orlando. I can tell you guys about that. We'll be talking about the college football final because we did not last time. We had the 4 teams, and now we know, of course, who won. So
I bet we got an Indiana fan in the.
Absolutely. We're talking about the Super Bowl. We want to hear your predictions. So is it going to be Seahawks or Patriots? Let us know. We'll talk about that here in a bit. We're talking about the NBA, Tim. Lots of trades happening over the last couple of days, including one involving the Mavericks and Anthony Davis, Tim, which we're big Mavericks fans around here. We'll be talking NHL, maybe a little bit of pro wrestling, Tim. It's WrestleMania season, so getting geared up for that. And then, of course, TV shows. Tim, I've been watching Fallout. I would love to give my opinions on that for you guys if you're not watching it. And then Tim got around to actually watching Tron Ares, right?
I did. I finally saw it.
So you can hear all of Tim's thoughts on Tron Ares here in a bit, as well as the Apartment in the Mall documentary. Correct? Right. So that's what we'll be talking about in the after show. But we're about to sign off for the regular show. If this is your exit ramp, we want to thank you guys for being here tonight. Big round of applause to the live chat. You guys were awesome tonight. A lot of guys in there just having fun, hanging out with us tonight. We want to thank you guys for that. We do broadcast on the first Thursday night of every month at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. That's pretty consistent. Every so often we'll move it. We moved it last month because nobody wants to broadcast on January 1st, Tim.
Right.
New Year's Day is kind of a holiday around here. But most of the time you will find us every Thursday night at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, right here on this YouTube channel, broadcasting live to your eardrums. So there you go, guys. But Tim, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up the regular live show?
No, I'm ready to talk about some other topics. So stick around if you can. And if this is your jumping off ramp, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Want to thank you guys for being here again. And we do hope that you stick around for the after show. Again, just wait about 5 or 10 minutes. Just leave your browser exactly where it is. And we'll be right back with the after show here in a bit. But again, like we talked about, this is your off ramp. Thanks for being here tonight. Tremendously enjoyed hanging out with you this evening. And remember, here at Arcade Repair Tips, when you fix the game,
you play the game.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the after show, or we'll see you next month for our live show. See you soon.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Arcade Repair Tips live show. All of our past episodes are available on our website at arcaderepairtips.com or on our YouTube page. This show is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please consult a professional before attempting to repair any coin-operated machines yourself. The preceding program is a Varcade Entertainment production.
Okay, and we're back with the after show from episode 108. Thought we had a good show tonight. Had a lot of great people in the live chat hanging out. Hopefully you guys are still hanging out with us. Hopefully we weren't gone for too long there. I was showing Tim some of the trip photos from Disney World. We had a really great time. So I got to visit all 4 parks, and then also got to visit Epic Universe, Tim, which is where Super Nintendo World is.
Oh, see, I've heard that Super Nintendo World was really...
It's pretty amazing. Now, the problem is that it is packed. Oh, my goodness, there are people everywhere. But we went there, and then in Epic Universe, you also have the Isle of Berk from How to Train Your Dragon, so we got to meet Toothless and do some rides there. And then you have the Dark Universe, which is like Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Invisible Man. Like, they have a whole land just for those characters.
Fun.
And then there's a Harry Potter world there, too.
Okay.
So it's a little different. It's not mainline Harry Potter. It's like, what's the... Oh, I can't think of the thing. I can't think of the little series that kind of goes along with it at the moment. But anyway, so we did all of it. It was great. It was exhausting for the most part.
Pretty
lots
busy
of walking.
days, huh?
Yeah, lots of walking, lots of riding. Tim was asking me what my favorite ride was. I showed you the picture from Tron. Tron was good, but Rise of the Resistance, which is the Star Wars ride, fantastic. Man, it's an experience.
Y'all all ride that together, right?
Yep.
Y'all are all in one thing, like one big pod.
Yep. And with, I was about to say, with Tron, everybody has their own light cycle. But they're grouped together, right? So, like, you're in the same grouping, but you all ride individual light cycles. So, unlike a real roller coaster where, you probably sit side by side or whatever it is, a little bit different. So, very cool stuff. Just amazing time. And, trying to figure out how we can afford to go back someday. But it was fun. So, I pulled a Ted Cruz. I headed out of town when it got cold. We stayed around. So, what happened with you?
So, what happened here was, we're here and it's starting to sleet and snow. It's about 8:30 at night and our power goes off. And I'm like, oh here we go. And about an hour later, it comes back on.
Oh, that's good.
And so what happened was one of the guys noticed that his limbs were actually hitting the power lines and making it arc. He called the power company. They shut the power off, came out and trimmed the limbs real quick. They said had they not done that, the arcing would have went down and took out transformers, and then we'd have had a mess.
Yep.
Or it would have broken the lines and even bigger mess.
Before we left, we live real close to the mall here, and there were literally 100+ linemen in the mall parking lot before we left. So I was like, they've got us covered.
They were really prepared here, and then it was kind of well, guys, if you live up north, you kind of don't understand. This was a storm, like a storm where it's sleeting and icy, and you couldn't get out.
We don't get snow here. We get like frozen rain followed by hard freezes.
Right, and so I knew I wasn't going to work. I was supposed to work that Saturday. Took Saturday off, stayed in. Sunday's the same. Monday couldn't work either. But I said, well, I was supposed to be. Tuesday, I was supposed to be in Oklahoma. And I looked, and the roads around here were starting to get pretty good. So I thought, I'll go up on Tuesday to Sulphur Springs, and then and if that's fine, I should be okay to get to Oklahoma. So Sulphur Springs is about an hour, about halfway, an hour and a half from here. And I get to Sulphur Springs, and you can get around as long as you stay on the main roads. So I attempted to go to Oklahoma, and if I would have stayed on the main roads, I'd been fine. But GPS is telling me you could take Highway 11 and cut right through there, and you'll be there 30 more minutes. So I was like, okay. I took off, got down Highway 11 about 2 miles, and then it went to straight nothing but ice. I couldn't see tire prints. I couldn't see anything, and everybody else had enough common sense not to go down that road.
Right.
So I drove really slow, and I couldn't see very good, and it was dark, and it took me 3 hours to go 70 miles. And so the only thing that saved me is somebody must have gone a lot of that ways on a big tractor, and when I got into those tractor ruts, I was actually shaking like that, but my tires were gripping a little bit better. It wasn't sliding, and my back end wasn't going off. One time, I ended up looking the other way and kind of fishtailing and going back and getting. If there would have been cars in the other lane, I probably would have hit them.
Goodness.
So I was a nervous wreck, and my arms were really sore the next day. So finally get to Oklahoma.
I was going to check our live chat. Just keep talking.
Yeah, finally I get to Oklahoma, and I'm in Sherman, Texas. My ultimate goal was Durant, but it's just on the other side of Texas. I was at the very top of Texas in Sherman, Texas, and I got to the hotel. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's my hotel. I can't believe I drove all this way and didn't get stuck. I made it. My wife said she saw me on Life 360 at one time. I was driving about 12 or 13 miles an hour. And that's what you had to do. You just go slow. So I get to the hotel and I cannot see where to turn into the hotel. You couldn't see. And I saw some tire marks going that way. And I thought, well, there's the entrance, right? I didn't see any cars around that area, and so I started up, and as soon as I got a little bit of a hump, and I realized he just hopped the curb. He didn't know where he was. I didn't know where I was, but he was in a truck.
Sure.
And I got up and got stuck. And I was on top of there, and I was stuck, and I couldn't go forward, couldn't go backwards. I was kind of almost high in the middle too. I was in the median, and I couldn't tell. Couldn't see any lines. Couldn't see parking spaces. You couldn't see anything. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, I walked in and there was a bar and I saw a bunch of, for lack of better terms, kind of some redneck looking Texas guys. Country folks. And I said, look, I would love to buy a round of beers if 3 guys would mind just coming, giving me a little push. Told them what happened. They said, man, we got you. They went out there, and sure enough, they gave a little push and got me over and got me in a parking space. But they would not let me buy them anything. They were like, no, it's fine. We may be in that trouble. You can go push somebody else sometime. And so that was nice of them. I said, no, you guys fix to drink another round. Let me at least buy another round. No, they wouldn't let me. Mm-hmm. So I made it there, and then I'm stuck in the hotel. I was supposed to do some audits at a school. The school was closed the next day. So I called my boss, hey, can't go. School's out. Can't do anything. Okay, well, wait. They said maybe tomorrow. The next day, same thing. Now, I would like to throw this question out to you and do we have some kind of cloud-seeded bioengineered new snow? This stuff would not melt.
Golly.
It was 50 degrees the next day and was melting.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. As long as you stayed on the main road, you were good, but 1 block off of it, horrible. So I was so glad to finally I did a few things we talked about at the casino. The one place that was melted and iced or de-iced and bulldozed the parking lot. Plenty of room. Casino was wide open. I did a couple things in there. Didn't play at the casino. I was working, which is a super nice, if you've ever been to Choctaw Casino. Wow, it was really fancy. And a lot of good eating places there, so I was hungry.
Sure.
Got some pizza and stuff. It was good. And I went back to the hotel. Finally, I told my boss, I'm going to get on that main road and try to see if I can get home. This time, I'm not going to drive through the country. So after 2 or 3 days, it didn't melt. It didn't do anything. They were all stuck. School was still out. I made it back home. And here, by that time, it had cleared up quite a bit, except for some in my yard, in my driveway, which I don't even know. I haven't been home now in a couple days. We may still have some somewhere. It just will not melt. I don't know what in the heck is in the snow that came down there, but it would not melt.
When we came back, like everything looked melted.
Yeah.
I was like, we drove in Friday. So by Friday, I felt like, I saw, there was still some on some houses, but everything else was pretty much melted around here. Have you seen the zip tie tire chain things that you can get?
I have seen those.
That's what you need.
I thought about it.
We all need a set of those here in Texas. You just zip tie them on, and then when you're done, you just cut them off. I mean, they're one-time use, but they're only like $15 for a set. They're not very expensive. But that way, if you end up in ice, you just pull over real quick, zip tie those things on your tires. Now, I will say,
my wife's car is heavier and it has all-wheel drive. It drove on it, no problems.
Yeah.
My car was all over the place, my work car, so front-wheel drive. So we had enough of the ice. If you live in that stuff and deal with it all the time, of course, you probably have better equipment, chains.
Yeah.
You probably have street plows, stuff like. We don't have that stuff.
Nope.
It just piles up. It gets plowed when Bubba gets on the tractor and comes down the road and takes care of us. But what was bad was my sisters in Louisiana just got power like today after 12 days of this.
Yeah.
So some places had it even worse. I know people up north don't understand. Snow is one thing, ice. Now, Oklahoma was a good mixture of ice and snow. It was a lot of snow, and it was pretty. But, boy, we were ready for it to be over. So, while you were suffering that down at Disney World, Enjoy, it probably was a little chillier there than normal.
So it got down to about 40 when we were there, but after we left, so we left on Friday, the Saturday after we left, it got down to 25.
Wow.
And they showed like the fountains that we were standing in front of were frozen over.
Wow.
I was like, golly, we got out of time. So here's the thing. We left, we moved up. We were supposed to fly out Saturday morning. We moved it to Friday night. So that way we could get out before the storm.
Nice.
And then we came back after the storm. So it worked perfectly for us. And plus the kids were out of school because it got let out. We already told the teachers that they weren't going to be there, but they ended up making up much work anyway. So it worked out perfectly for us. Couldn't have timed it any better. It was a God thing for sure.
Right.
But yeah, it was amazing. And I messaged you because I saw all the stuff. I think it was that Monday or Tuesday, just to check in on you. Because I was like, I want to check in on Tim at least because I know he travels a lot. And you were like, I'm supposed to be in Oklahoma, and I was thinking you were going to fly.
Right.
And so I said, you might check your flight to see if it's canceled. And you're like, no, I'm
driving.
And I was like, oh, you're driving.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a total...
Never again. Yeah. Never again.
Well, your birthday's coming up. You may get some zip tie change.
Oh, my goodness. That would be a good thing. Use them once every couple years.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, here's the thing. I think I heard I heard the meteorologist say it's not going to get below freezing until December. So I think we're in good shape.
So that was kind of a rare event for us here. I should mention I got a trip coming up to Fayetteville, Arkansas, Eureka Springs. I'll be up there. And for anybody that's listening, I will be in Connecticut about spring break for a full week, all through Connecticut, Hartford, New Haven, all up and down Connecticut, straight down the middle of the country there. I've done that trip before, and I'm kind of really looking forward to that, to see. It's a beautiful area of the country, and good folks too, so always enjoy going there. So lots of trips, lots of things coming up, busy times. My granddaughter's first birthday is in 2 weeks, so poor little thing won't get anything, or we're not, no, it's going to be a big deal. We're blowing a big party, and we're going to have a lot of fun. She might not remember it, but we always will. Yeah, no, I think it's more for us, that first one, than for her.
Now, with Olivia, we got her a smash cake. Yeah. And I would recommend the smash cake. So,
yeah, we're doing a smash cake. So, you know what it's like. It's been a really... a lot of people didn't have such a good year. Last year wasn't that bad on us. This year's just started off kind of crazy, but we survived. Somebody hit my car the other day. I've kind of had to deal with that. But you know what? They waited around till they called the police on themselves.
Oh, there you go.
And waited around for about 30 minutes till I come down I was at the hospital working, and they come down and told right from the officer, I did it. Our insurance will pay for it. And he's like, well, I'm not going to write you a ticket because it's in a parking lot. And he said, here, take this form we usually fill out, and you guys fill out because you'll forget. Yeah. Oh, I should have got their insurance. Stuff, yeah. It had it all on there for us. Right. We exchanged stuff. I've already had a body shop look at it and taken it in, I think, on Friday or a week from Friday, and get it fixed. Stuff can be replaced, but it's just been a crazy, crazy time. But overall, things have come out for the better. And yeah, I think everybody goes through something, but coming out for the better. Even my sisters were 12 days. Can you imagine, guys? 12 days without electricity. People couldn't even get to them. Guys went through the country, made trails with chainsaws, and got them gas for their generators and stuff, and brought them food and things. You see sometimes in these times, the best of things. I saw a lot of people here helping other people, and people were like, hey, if you're a nurse or a policeman or something, you have to get to work and you're not comfortable, we will come get you, and we will take you to work and pick you back up. I saw a lot of that. I didn't see anybody going, hey, if you're a Republican, I'll help you, or hey, if you're a Democrat, I'll help you, or if you're the same race as me, I'll help you. What I saw was people just helping people, and to be honest, I think we kind of needed something like that. We needed some come together moments.
For sure.
It feels like everything divides us, and that's what we talk about in our situation, that at least we have arcade games in common. Well, no matter who you vote for, we don't care.
Right.
We care that you like arcade games and that you want to fix them and keep them up and running. But it was kind of good in a way that, you see sometimes in your tough times, you find out who your real friends are or who you can really depend on. And some people surprise you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, wow, somebody you didn't know really, or a stranger goes out. So, anyway, I'm glad you had a good time.
I did.
You picked the Ted Cruz.
Exactly.
Like, I'm out.
Hey, if you got the money, why not do that? Well, I mean, we didn't look. We've been planning this trip for a year plus.
Right.
So I mean, it
worked out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just we were scared we weren't even going to get to go.
But I didn't even think about it. John, I would have come over and checked your house and made sure your pipes.
So
were
our pet sitter stayed here.
Okay, good. So
she actually, and we had food for her. We got food for her. We got we had I had all my emergency stuff ready for her. So she actually stayed here during
it. And she didn't lose power.
That's
good.
Yeah, so she had everything she needed. Our next door neighbors have a key, so at one point she locked herself out. I'm like, well, just go next door. They have a key. So I mean, that's fine. Everything worked out. There's no problems. But so the pet sitter did that. Yeah,
because here when it gets cold, we have to open up our cabinets and let pipes drip and stuff, or they will freeze. Yep. Up north, you don't have that problem either. But we have to wait, and then you have a lot of plumbing issues and stuff like that can happen.
Yeah, so
we're very fortunate.
We had an outside pipe burst one time, and I actually had to get the C to turn off the main because I couldn't get it off, and I repaired the pipe myself using a pipe repair kit. And I've had several plumbers out. Hey, I'm always asking them, hey, is this okay? And they're always like, oh, it looks great. So I didn't know I could fix a pipe until I had to fix one. So,
I wouldn't want to do it for a living.
No,
but it's good to have some skills, right?
Exactly. So I fixed the pipe one time, and it's still holding to this day. Let's see. Our kitchen sink is on the outside wall, so the only one we really need to drip is that one. Okay. Because everything else is on the interior of the house. Right. But this one that's right here in the kitchen, that's the one.
We have to watch that one.
But the pet sitter was here, and she took care of all that for us. We paid her a little extra than what we normally would. But I mean, here's the thing: we also had food for her. We also,
she had a safe place to stay.
So she would have been in an apartment otherwise, her apartment, which I don't think is as comfortable as what we have here, just personally. But it worked out, so it was good. Jumpin' General says, when are you coming to North Carolina, Tim?
North Carolina, I have not been that direction. Last time I went to South Carolina, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it gets thrown on me a week at a time. Like, hey, next week, can you do this? And anyway, I'm gonna not answer this call.
Looks like spam.
No, that's not spam.
Oh, okay.
This is an issue that we have been battling. Are y'all familiar with Instant Ink? If you have an HP printer,
yes,
and you do a lot of printing, like my wife, being a teacher, you can enroll in Instant Ink, and you hook up your computer. When they see it's low, they just send you some new ones. Well, our printer bit the dust. I mean, it just started really acting up. It's giving a lot of problems. And instead of buying a brand new one, I got on eBay and I found one new in the box. With the box had a little damage.
Sure.
Same kind of printer, just a little bit, a little bit newer. This has never been open, still taped up and everything. Got it. I mean, like a brand new printer. It's a 10-year-old printer, but new to us. Sure. Same ink cartridges. I tried to put the new ink cartridges in there from the old one, and it recognized this is not the printer that these cartridges are assigned to.
Yes.
And so I'm like, well, I can't do that. So go online, change. Hey, don't have this printer anymore. Now we got this one. And for the life of me, in 2 hours on the phone with them the other night, we cannot get it to cancel our old printer and add the new printer.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they're very similar. They're just, the only thing really different is the serial number.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of talking to them. I'm at the point where I'm going to buy an Epson printer tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, I told them, you see that I'm out of ink. Just send me some ink, and then we can work on this other stuff. And they're like, yes, we see that you're low on ink, because they can log into my computer and see what I'm seeing.
Yeah, HP Smart.
But it won't save.
Right.
And it won't save, and the next day it goes back and thinks I have an old printer. And they're like, well, it's still showing you got plenty of ink. And I'm like, I do, and I can't use it because it's for this old. Anyway, That's what that call's about.
Gotcha.
Long story short.
Well, HP has made me mad in the past, and I always had great luck with Epson. And when I worked at Best Buy, like the Epson rep was like the best.
Right.
And so Epson is like my go-to for
really
inkjets.
close.
Yeah, inkjet printers. Now, here's the thing: I haven't bought an inkjet in a long time, Tim. I go laser. I am laser everything. I got Brother lasers, and I've got a Dell laser that's color. If you print pictures, don't do it. But if you're just printing documents, laser is the way to go. Okay. You know what's nice about toner? It doesn't dry out. Right. Because it's powder. So you can keep toner cartridges forever, whereas ink cartridges will dry out.
That's a good point.
So go laser if you're just doing document stuff. Way better. So, but anyway. Let's talk about any financial stuff you want to talk about, like investing. I saw. Okay, so here's the question. I'm real close on doing this, but I want to run this by you.
Okay.
Bitcoin is absolutely just crashing right now. Where should I buy at? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's it at now?
60,000?
I would say if it hits lower than 50, that's where I would probably jump in. And you know that a lot of platforms, you can just buy partial shares. You're not going to spend 50.
No.
But you can buy $1,000.
We use Webull. I have Webull Pay. Right. That's my platform for my Bitcoin stuff. So I'm looking at it. I'm watching it. And I'm thinking, okay, at what point am I going to buy?
I'm in the same boat with gold.
Okay.
But remember a few months
ago. Gold's high right now, right?
Well, it dropped quite a bit from 5,300 down to 4,800. It was a big drop. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching the same thing. When do I buy more? Because I bought in at like 3,600.
Yes.
So I'm still up significantly. Silver I'm keeping an eye on. But remember a couple of months ago, what did I say? I was going to buy heating oil and stuff. And guess what it's doing? It's doing really good.
Winter Storm
Especially with the Fern made me some money.
That's right.
That's an easy predictable. Right now, I'm also looking at buying things like corn and stuff that are summer crops while they're low.
Right.
Okay, so it's almost predicted. Easy prediction.
WWE, we're coming up on WrestleMania season.
Yep,
that's always a good time.
And their stock does pretty good for me too.
Yep.
So that's about all that I've just cautiously.
Are you thinking about more Bitcoin too, or are you?
If it goes below 50, especially if it gets down in the 40s, like lower 40s, I probably will.
Let's see what it is real quick. We'll do a live. We'll do a live Bitcoin here. I'm curious.
I do think that it was overinflated.
Yes.
Like I said, somebody bought it at 108 or something, but.
So let's see.
I don't see it going much lower.
Yeah, so this is the chart right now.
Okay.
So I need to find the value, though. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Because I only have partial Bitcoin, obviously. But Bitcoin price, Tim, is at 64 right now.
Yeah.
64,156.
It's going to have to get...
Now, it had a little bit of a bounce today. A little bit.
That's why I think if it gets in the 50s, I may jump in. But for sure, if it gets under 50, I'm going in. And I may go in like $1,000 or $2,000 or something, not just a couple hundred.
Okay.
If it gets below in the 50s, a couple hundred I may throw at it. But if it gets below 50, I think that it's worth the risk then. But I don't know that it will.
Yeah.
It's probably about at the bottom or where it's going to go.
I was thinking 60 was probably the bottom.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was just 100,000 not that long ago.
That's true.
So you never know.
That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about some sports, Tim. What did you think about the college football final there?
That was a great game.
It was.
After watching Indiana play just their first playoff game, I thought this is a really good team.
Yeah.
And they're just like good everywhere.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, they're going to win it all. They really are. They're well coached, well disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They don't beat themselves. Quarterback is just outstanding. That play he run in for a touchdown is just one for the ages. Now
Miami was in it till the end, though.
Well, Miami was a very good opponent.
Yeah.
It was just destiny. An undefeated season just doesn't happen very often anymore.
Yeah.
So hats off to the Hoosiers and also to the Hurricanes for making it to the final.
They were 12, 10 seeds?
Yeah, that was a big deal for them to make it that far. Mm-hmm. But Indiana just handled their business. That was a great game.
It really was. So let's talk Super Bowl real quick. Tim, who do you got? Seahawks or the Patriots?
Well, I will be rooting for the Seahawks, although I'm not a big fan of either team.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And whoever wins will not interrupt my sleep or nothing. I won't care. But I am DeMarcus Lawrence that plays for the Seahawks, right? That the Cowboys traded, and he never got a ring in Dallas, and he played his heart out. I would really like to see him get a Super Bowl ring. Yeah. So I'm rooting for the Seahawks really for that factor, for more like I like him. But I don't dislike the Patriots. This team is a really good team. I think it could be a good game.
I think it will be a good game. I think the Seahawks defense is stout. So, I mean, you got to play rough again. You got to play. They play you tough. So you got to have a good offense to overcome that. Plus, my brother-in-law is he grew up in Washington, huge Seattle Seahawks fan. So I'll be pulling for them just because of him. So there you go. Then of course there's Mavericks talk. Tim, Mavericks are doing terrible, but they kind of just reset their entire salary cap,
right?
By trading like all of their long-term contract guys for basically short-term contract guys. That's probably going to take about $70 million off the books. Right. Which will allow them to rebuild a new team around Cooper Flag, hopefully. So that's what I'm hoping. Unfortunately, the next couple of years are going to be really rough to watch, Tim.
Right.
But, that's how rebuilds work.
I would do in there.
Exactly.
I would have done the same thing.
Exactly. So, Stars are still doing good. They've had a couple more losses since we last got together here, but they're still got a winning record. Game streak. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're still doing good. So, looking forward to some playoff hockey coming very soon.
I've kind of been in the hockey mood. We didn't mention this, but I did watch Miracle, the documentary.
I saw that.
It's not the movie. Right. It is a documentary. It's super good.
Recent on Netflix.
Super good. Watch it. It's really good. And it always kind of gets me really pumped to want to see some more hockey after I watch it.
Well, we got the Olympics coming up too, Tim.
Right.
And they start tomorrow, right?
I think so.
Tomorrow's opening ceremony for the Olympics. Oh my goodness. So,
that's crazy.
So looking forward to that. Now, did you hear about the skeleton, the United States skeleton lady that got screwed by the Canadian team?
No.
You needed to do your research on it.
Okay.
Okay. Skeleton, like luge and skeleton, would absolutely terrify me, especially after going on roller coasters.
Right.
You know that they're going like 90 miles per hour on those things? Goodness. Mm-hmm. One crash, dude, you're done.
Right.
So, but no, she kind of got screwed. So they get the amount of points they get in a turn, like in each little like qualifier, depends on how many people are in the qualifier. Mm-hmm. And so she was going to do a Lake Placid qualifier. That's where they were going to have it. Okay, people know Lake Placid from Miracle and everything else. And so she can stay at home, she can train here, and she doesn't have to travel or anything like that. And so what they do is your points are determined by how many people enter the qualifier.
Right.
So the entire Canadian team was pretty much set up for that qualifier, and then literally the day before they all pull out, which basically, even though she won the qualifier, didn't give her enough points. To enter. And the Canadian, and here's the thing, you're not supposed to do that. That's kind of like, what's the word? Bad form.
Dirty pool, yeah.
Right, exactly. It's kind of dirty. And so basically the Canadian team screwed her and now she did not qualify for the Olympics because of that.
Wow.
You need to read the entire story. It's amazing.
I'll have to see that.
Yeah, but I'm pulling for her. She's doing appeals to the Olympic Committee, trying to get them to overturn it, to say, hey, just have me one spot. Like, I have one spot.
Let me compete.
Yeah, exactly. Just let me compete. She's, I think she's 40, Tim, and she's been in the last, 4 Olympics or something like that for the United States team. She's got one of the best, times of anybody else at skeleton. So, you need to read up on the story. I have her. I forget what her name is. It's on X. You can follow her. I follow her on X now. But I just heard an interview with her, and I was just like, I felt bad for her because you train your entire life to do the Olympics, and then all of a sudden, something like that happens. So, and she was injured for some of the other qualifiers, which is why she waited. Yeah. And then her coach was like, well, there'll be enough people there for you to qualify, to get the amount of points that you would need to qualify.
That's what the documentary about Miracle goes back into, how they got the team together more and how people made, and even the last guy cut that didn't get to go, and one guy was the backup goalie, never got to play.
Yeah,
and he still, it's kind of neat. He met his wife. He was kind of upset because he wasn't even getting to play, And he met this girl and ended up being his wife. They've been married like 47 years. And he's like, I won something better than the gold medal. He's really good guy.
Sure.
So I thought that documentary was really good, and it really does kind of get you pumped up for the Olympic Games.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move into the media stuff since you're talking about that. I have that on my watch list, by the way.
Okay,
so I will be watching that. Tell me about Tron Ares and what you thought.
Okay, so I'm like you. I went in pretty open-minded. I liked it.
I liked it too.
I didn't just like it a little. I really liked it. I thought I was okay with the storyline, the characters, the script. I liked it. I just thought it was a good movie. I bet it would have been better at the theaters.
Yeah, it's a movie designed for that. And you probably felt that when you were watching it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I did. And I was a little disappointed that I never was able to see it. But like I said, I kind of liked the storyline. I liked how they made it. You know, it wasn't you going into the game was coming into us.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I thought it was I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I was like, this was good. Very good.
And you had the whole Income versus Dillinger thing, just like you had like back in the day and everything.
Right.
Like it really hits all the notes. I think it came out at a rough time of year. I think that the Tron brand is difficult because there's a lot of people who love it like us.
Right.
But there's a lot of people who don't. But I will tell you this. Of all the lines I stood in, Tron was the longest for the light cycle run. Like that's an 80-minute long wait.
Wow.
For that ride. So it shows you that there is a demand for Tron.
Okay.
I don't know what package that looks like is the problem. But Ares is good. It's a good movie. And that's it's a solid 7 to 8.
Well, anytime I can say this, that I will watch it again.
Yeah.
I will probably sit back and watch it. And that's, to me, I'm not a big person. Once I see a movie, even if I like it, I don't always watch them again and again. Mm-hmm. I'm just not one of those people that watches over and over unless you really put some years in between it. And I will probably watch that again.
I felt like coming out of the theater, and I've watched parts of it on Disney Plus. I haven't watched the whole thing. I felt like I missed some stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, when I watched it in the movie theater, I'm like, I think I missed things.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, so I do want to give it a rewatch myself just to see what I missed. You know, because I do think there's some stuff in there. But I liked how they tied in Legacy at the end.
Yes.
And I hope that they unfortunately, since it didn't do very well at the theaters, I doubt they will. But I really hope they make a fourth one that makes Legacy and Ares kind of come together. Because man, that would be so awesome. Guys, those movies are good. Mm-hmm. And if Legacy is good, Ares is good. Like I don't know what the problem is. Well, Jared Leto is part of the problem. People don't like him. Okay, I know that. Mm-hmm. But he plays good in this movie. He's fine in this movie. I mean, he's not the best actor, but he plays this part well. Mm-hmm. I will say that. So, and I mean, there were some things you can nitpick the story a little bit. I understand that.
Maybe so.
But overall, it's good. It's a competent story. I have watched movies that are way less watchable than Tron Ares, you know? And it's really good. So, solid 7 to 8 for me.
Okay.
And I will rewatch it again.
I'll say that. That's exactly what I give it. 7 to 8.
7.5-ish range is like what it is. And it is rewatchable. It is fun. And it is good. So, let's see. Oh, Mark says Arcade Went Up put some good games out. Too bad they went under. Yeah, we still haven't gotten all the facts about what's going on with Arcade Went Up yet. We just know that Basic Fun basically bought some of their assets, but we don't exactly know what that means.
Right.
Still don't have like the total picture on that. So hopefully we'll get more. Hopefully we'll get more details on that as we go.
Hopefully.
So, I'm glad you liked it. Was there one part in particular that stood out to you? Was it when he was destroying the pinball machines, or that was like throwing the pinball machines?
That was pretty good.
Maybe that was just making me cringe in my heart. Just seeing that, but
yeah.
But I felt like the action sequences with the fight scenes were really well done. Like, so the fight scenes are very well done in it.
And just the driving the light cycle through the traffic and stuff, and that was really good.
And then the ode to Old Tron when they go into the old grid, that was a great part. I don't want to get too many spoilers, but they do visit the old grid, which you should definitely watch just for that if you're an old school Tron fan. It hit every note. That's the thing. Like, all the stuff that you say, if I was making a Tron sequel, I want to have this.
I was really disappointed I didn't see it in the theater.
Yeah. I mean, if they re-release it, I'll go with you again and we'll watch it. Because I came out of it and I loved it, and I still love it. I still think it's a good movie. Let's see, Tim. Tell me about Apartment in the Mall.
Okay. Do you know the story?
I have no idea what this is.
I had no idea either. Apparently, it was pretty big news back in the late 90s. So, in a short synopsis, they're building a brand new mall in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And they're actually tearing down like housing. It was kind of affordable and stuff for some people. It's kind of an art district and these guys are really good at doing art projects and stuff. And they felt slighted. They didn't want a big mall. They liked their area. They liked what it was. And they watched when it was being built. And this guy comes up with this idea. There is nothing in this space up here. I saw that. And there's no stores. And they find out and they go in. And sure enough, they find like an empty space. And they decide to make an apartment out of it.
There you go.
And when I mean make an apartment, they like figure out ways to get furniture up there and all this stuff. And it goes on for 4 years. You know
I feel like I've heard this before.
Yeah,
I've heard the story.
You know at some point they're going to get caught. But it really goes more in the background of the 7 or 8 people and how they learn, don't tell anybody.
Right.
Right? But how are we going to get, like cinder blocks, how do we get them up there and not be noticed?
Right.
And they actually built a wall and a door and everything and made it. They really come up and they had Nintendos and stuff up there where they could play and how they got electricity to the room and stuff like that. It was just really crazy. I liked it. It was really good because in the end they really weren't trying to do it. It was kind of an art project for them. And how can we do this? They always knew if they got caught, they would just be like, "I'm sorry," you know. They literally were at the point where they were about to get mail there.
Oh,
that was their goal. When they, I'm not spoiling anything. Eventually, they're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
my goodness! Then we just had two $20 donations. Oh my God, guys! Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Keep talking. Maybe more money will come in. No, thank you guys so much. Russell, thank you so much. Mark, thank you guys so much. It means the world to us when you guys make donations to us. Yeah. You guys don't know how much it means. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Bobby Broadway's here too, Tim. You guys are coming in. I love this. Tim, we're just going to broadcast for another 3 hours.
Okay,
we're just going to keep on going. Thank you guys though so much for the donations. We really appreciate it. And if you have not watched Tron Ares, it's now on Disney+.
Okay.
So sign up for a trial.
Watch it,
and let us know what you think. You can send us an email. Let us know. Exactly. And also watch Apartment in the Mall. I think I read this. Yeah,
it's like I kind of remember it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool about the actual people and it shows them now, they're later, and they really didn't mean to do any harm, and they didn't all live there all the time. It was a hangout place. Yeah. Sometimes they'd spend the night, but I mean, it didn't have heating or they had to run power extension cords and stuff to get up there. I mean, it wasn't like they lived in it.
Right.
But it was livable. And how they got away and did it.
Right.
Just a hutch. They have a hutch up there, like a China hutch, and how they got it in there. And what's neat is that this was really early. They have a little Pentax-like camera, and they did actually video a lot. So it's actual footage of what they did and how they did it. And they were like, huh. And so I just thought it was kind of cool. And I don't think they really got any big trouble over it. I think at some point it was just kind of like, well, don't do this, or something. But, and they really didn't hurt anybody, but it was kind of interesting. You definitely need to watch it.
So Mark just said, you guys rock. Great to find a classic arcade channel that covers these awesome games. No, you rock, sir.
Yes,
you rock.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for the donation. We're glad to be carrying this torch, I guess, if nothing else. And if nobody was watching, me and Tim would still be doing it anyhow.
Probably.
Because we love it. And we're glad that you're here to celebrate with us. So thank you, Mark, for the donation. Thank you for your kind words, and we hope that you enjoy the content. We're glad that you do. So
yeah, thank you.
And Russell too. Oh my goodness, Russell too. You guys are awesome. Mm-hmm. So Apartment in the Mall, I'm definitely gonna catch. So Tim, have you been watching Fallout?
I have not been watching.
You need to be watching Fallout.
Okay, I'll remember.
Everybody needs to be watching Fallout. Now, it's based on the video game,
right?
But it has Walt Goggins in it. And that should be all I have to say in order to get you to watch it.
Okay.
But it's post-apocalyptic.
Right.
And basically some people are locked away in vaults when the apocalypse happens. Some people are on the surface when the apocalypse happens.
I've seen previews of it.
So the season finale was last night, Tim. It was amazing. The whole thing is really good.
Okay.
You should be watching Fallout if you're not. I enjoy it so much. And Mark says, great show. Watch it. That's all I have to say. No spoilers, no nothing. Just go watch Fallout.
Okay.
Exactly. It's on Amazon Prime, which I know that all of you have. So
Right.
it's like everybody has Prime for sure. Bobby says, I never played Fallout and I love it. You don't have to play the game to love the show. There are relations, like there are things from the game in there.
Yeah.
But you can go in completely blind and just love it. The first season is good. Second season is good. Now, it is weird. It's a little creepy, okay, because it is post-apocalyptic. Just keep that in mind. But it's no different than like The Last of Us or any of these other ones.
Watch.
Yes, but watch it. It is really good. Season 2 finale was last night, and it was good. Watch it. So, number 1 show on Amazon Prime, by far. By far. And like I said, Walt Goggins. What more do I need to say?
Right.
Walt Goggins, that's all I got to say. So, but all the acting is good in it. All the actors are good in it. It's well written. They did a fantastic job with all the stuff. Gotta watch it. Love it. So, Fallout. Start with season 1 right there, Tim.
All right. So, it's on my watch list.
Yeah, I did not. And, the funny thing is that, like, a lot of people just haven't even heard of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's really good. It's the number 1 show on Amazon Prime. Do it. So, good stuff. And then I've been watching, like, the WWE stuff on Netflix. So, WWE Unreal season 2. Which is interesting because, like, Unreal is about a year behind where, like, you are right now. Okay. And so basically what it does is it takes you behind the scenes to see how they wrote and how they did everything. Okay. So it's kind of like the magician showing you the behind-the-scenes trick of how everything played out.
I've seen part of it. It's really good.
Yeah, and so it's a very interesting thing. So if you're a WWE fan, of course, you know what the storyline was because you were watching, and so you get to see how they kind of built that, right? So, I mean, it's a behind the scenes. That's what it is. So, if you're interested in that, it's a really good show. Tim, there's so much to watch, so much that I have not gotten around to. I'm so backed up on every show that I've been watching. I know we've talked about shifting gears. You should be watching that. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the Tim Allen one where he owns the car shop.
I've seen that.
Very fun. I love that show.
My daughter loves that show.
It's just a fun sitcom. Like, just goofy, fun sitcom. If you're not watching Abbott Elementary, you should be watching that. That's fantastic. If you're not watching, what else do we watch? Ghost, you should be watching that. Okay. If you're not watching Animal Control on Fox, you should be watching that. Okay. So that's all stuff that you should be watching. So, there's so much good stuff like right now. We are at peak TV right now.
Right, I think so.
So, and Shrinking's back on Apple TV Plus. So, if you're an Apple TV Plus fan, Shrinking's back.
Prediction.
Okay.
Next year's Super Bowl will be live streamed, not regular TV. What do you think?
You're probably right with the way the rights are going. How many games does Netflix and Amazon have? You know
how many times do you watch regular TV?
Yeah.
I mean, except for big sporting event, and most of those you can watch on an app or something. Or
big sporting events are the only thing I watch on my cable anymore. It's the only reason I have cable anymore.
Right, me too.
Because every other TV show I want to watch is on a streaming service, whether that's Netflix or.
I'm betting it'll be on Netflix or Amazon or something next year.
I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same.
I would be really.
So, have you seen some of the commercials?
Some already, yeah.
Okay, which ones have you seen?
I have seen the Budweiser one.
Okay, the one with the eagle and the horse?
Yes.
Or the bird and the horse?
Yes, the bird and the horse.
Bird and the horse. Have you seen the polar bear Coca-Cola Pepsi commercial?
I have not seen that.
Okay, that's for Pepsi.
Okay.
Okay, it's about a polar bear that prefers Pepsi over Coke.
Okay.
Because Coke used polar bears for a long time as like their mascots. It's really good. So I've seen some of these commercials, and some of them have been very funny so far. So I will say that. Sometimes I watch the commercials and they're just dumb. Yeah. But I feel like the ones so far have been good. So the ones that I've seen, like the Budweiser one is good.
Yes.
And then the other stuff. Let's see.
That's my favorite leaked one, I guess, so far. I guess.
Yeah. Mark says, Police Trainer, new title for me, not familiar with it. This game?
Wow.
Let's talk about Police Trainer real quick, Tim. Police Trainer is fantastic. It is a target shooting game that's supposed to train you how to be a police officer, right? So they made a Police Trainer 2. There's a sequel to this. But Police Trainer is one of the best shooting games, like in games you can have, to me, right? It's really fun. A lot of fun.
And especially if you're like, you have kids and you don't want
them shooting people.
And
so, like, Lethal Enforcers is a little too rough.
Targets.
Right.
You're hitting targets.
It's about accuracy, speed. Right. Those are the things that Police Trainer is really about.
Great game.
Absolutely. Like, this is one of the best liking games ever. So, if you've never played Police Trainer, go to your local retro arcade and play some Police Trainer. Really fun. Let's see. Any other things that you're watching? There's so much stuff to watch.
I know. I'm trying to think. There was something else I've been watching. Oh, are you watching Beast Games? Do you watch?
Yes, we have
Games?
been watching Beast Games. I do not like this season as much as season 1.
Not as good, but a few good twists and a few. Not
Them bringing
quite
back
as,
some of the season 1
yes,
people was a
that was
great
cool.
twist. Yes.
Right, and so I'm enjoying it. I didn't see this week's episode, so
I'm a couple of episodes behind.
Maybe I'm about 2 episodes behind myself, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to.
It wasn't as many people either, which I wanted to be more
like
people.
Was it just 100?
Yeah,
instead of like 1,000. Wow. But definitely has some little dramas and stuff in it. It's pretty good so far. Yeah. I like it.
Beast Games is fun. You guys should be watching that too. I was trying to think of what else. I mean, golly, Tim, there's like too much stuff. But anyway, if you're watching something, let us know. You can also send us a message at questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Let us know you're watching. We'd love to know. Something you guys should all be doing is Best Guess Live. Tim, have you been playing Best Guess Live?
Yes. No, I played it with you that time. I keep missing it. But when it was icy and I told you Saturday we couldn't do anything. My daughter and granddaughter were there. We started playing Netflix games.
Yeah.
And we love it.
Yeah.
And we played, and we've been playing Boggle. I guarantee you, they asked me earlier, what time are you going to get home? Because they were going to play. We have, and sometimes I'll win, sometimes Donna win, sometimes Lacey will win. It's kind of pretty even.
Well, let me tell you.
We have been practicing.
Let me tell you something about Best Guess Live.
Yeah.
If you were playing last Friday, and I was because I literally had just got off a plane and got on, you got a free month of Netflix.
Oh, wow.
So I got a free month of Netflix.
How crazy.
They gave it for everybody who played last Friday night. That's not
cool
you didn't have to get any answers right or anything.
Right. Have you won anything yet?
I have not.
Okay.
Howie Mandel, though, gave everybody, I won a free month of Netflix.
That's pretty good just for playing.
Yeah, exactly, just for playing. So you guys should be playing Best Guess Live. Download the app, log in with your Netflix account. It's totally free for Netflix members. So, and it happens at 7 o'clock Central Time, okay? 8 o'clock Eastern Time, of course. And so you log on and they give you clues and you have to guess what the thing is based on the clues. And if you're in the right tier, it gets the right answer, then you get to split money.
But we have had more fun playing those games on Netflix because you all play on your phone and the TV that we are inviting our in-laws over and we're all going to play.
Yeah.
And just have a big game night pretty soon. We're talking about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe Saturday night.
So,
That's
Netflix
fun.
games is a good benefit to have. I don't know if it's the reason I keep Netflix necessarily, but it's, it's good to have as a bonus because pretty much everybody has Netflix anyway, right?
Have you seen His and Hers on Netflix?
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Like, I've seen the little thing for it.
It's a pretty good show.
Okay, what's it about?
It's about a guy, he's a police officer, and they find a lady dead, and his ex-wife shows up after being gone for a year. I'll just tell you. So she shows back up, and that's her best friend that's died. And so they're like, why now? Why did you show up right now? And she is a news reporter. She was the anchor before she, none of this is spoilers. They lost a kid, and they had a real struggle mentally, everything, divorce. She leaves. Nobody's seen her in her hometown for a year, and she shows back up. And you're wondering where she's been, so there's a little bit of story there. She can't have her job back because the lady's already taken it. So she's like, well, I'll be a reporter again. That's where I started. And she's reporting on this lady that died who happens to be one of her best friends. And her husband is a cop investigating it. And what they realized, in a real quick synopsis, they kind of realized that, okay, we got stuff to work out, but it's more important that we solve a murder.
Sure.
And you're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do. Maybe we can work together and figure out who the killer is. Okay. And it's a lot of twist on who the killer is.
Okay. Now, I will say this.
Whodunit.
I will say this, too. The whole thing with Savannah Guthrie's mom is super sad.
Yes.
And I've been praying about all that. And man, just what a weird thing.
They arrested a guy today.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think he had really anything to do with it. He was just trying to capitalize on it and try to get them to send him some Bitcoin.
Oh, my goodness.
So who does that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they actually had hope and stuff that maybe she was still alive.
Well, here's the thing. They also
and this guy was faking her. I don't know all the details. It seems to be pretty
professional or somebody who knew what they were doing because they took the doorbell camera. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, so the reporting I saw said that when the cops got there, the doorbell camera was missing.
Wow.
So, you only do that if you know what you're doing.
But who kidnaps an 84-year-old woman too? What kind of deranged person Yeah.
And she's not covering the Olympics. She's got to stay here because of all of this.
Right.
That was what she was supposed to be doing. And it's like, goodness, just, I mean, so much emotional heartbreak with all of that. So just praying for her and her family and just, golly, all that kind of stuff. That is awful. But anyway, Mark says, I have too many arcade games in my house. It's borderline hoarding. I do too. I think it's about time to start getting rid of stuff.
There's no such thing. You just need to build on more to your house.
There you go. He
no,
also says,
we have to downsize occasionally.
He also says a Discovery of Witches on Netflix is one that.
Watch list is pretty long.
And the Super Bowl's going to cut into that this weekend because I now
I watch the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. So, but anyway, guys, we're glad that you're here with us tonight. We'll be back in March, and it'll be Tim's birthday. Actually, it'll be after Tim's birthday.
Right.
But we're going to celebrate it. We'll celebrate it on that day. And so, Tim, is there anything you want for your birthday?
Not just peace, love, and happiness.
Well, I mean, I'm going to get you a gift.
Yeah.
So think about it.
I'll think about it. Something and I don't know how expensive they are.
I've got $40 now.
There's something that I would like, and I'm meant to tell you this. It's a good time. I got one of those pin. It's like a pin. I bought one for myself where you can just hold it near electricity and it'll beep and tell you if that's live or not. But I want the one where you hook it up to the whatever plug and then you go take the pin to the breaker.
Oh, and it detects
and it tells you which breaker it is that. That's what
awesome.
I need.
Okay.
Because we had to flip a breaker and it was, okay, flip that one. No, not that one. No, not that one. No. And
there.
Man, I was like, we hit every breaker and there was, of course, somehow we missed one.
Of course.
But that's one thing that I would like.
Okay. I can do that. Okay, well, we're having some streaming issues, so hopefully you guys are still watching. But if not, thanks for being here tonight, guys. It was a wonderful time. Live chat was great tonight. Just had a wonderful time with all you guys. Thank you to Mark, especially for the donations. Thank you to Russell for the donations. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. It means so much to us. Thank you for that. And we look forward to seeing you guys next month. Tim, just to be, I always like to look up since we're in the after show here. It's going to be the 5th. Yeah, so literally like the 5th of March.
One month.
Yeah, exactly.
Today's the 5th, right?
Yes, today is the 5th. So the 5th, March 5th, we will be back broadcasting once again here on the YouTube channel. So until then, take care. Have a great night. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.